good Saturday to you guys as well. It's really nice to continue and for a change manage to return to the... Hold on, I'm gonna lower the music a bit and also raise my volume so it'll be a little more hearable. I lifted it from -5 decibels to -2.5 to -2.5. Yeah. So as you guys saw, I'm basically like taking a step from all of my games just to like see if I can just to see if I can actually finish get the challenge of finishing this game on time. It's very intuitive. It's very impulsive, I know. It's like to just like go from like streaming 2 to 3 games a week and then like switch around to like do 1 game. But I don't know, I think that part of it is just because I really like 999, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. It's one of the best written games I've ever played. Also, I see we're at 81 followers, which is insane. I did do some self-promotion outside of the stream, so some of it is from exposure and others just from just telling some people I know, hey, I'm a streamer in my off time, if you want to put me in the background, you can do that. Where did that voice come from? I do not know. So yeah, I'm gonna... The plan is basically to play the game. And continue streaming and then hopefully finish it by September. So yeah, we're going to be continuing in a bit. I just want to, and as you guys saw, we are, usually I start at like my 7 p.m., which is usually I think 12 p.m. EST, I'm not sure. I forgot the time zones. So yeah. I hope you guys are also excited for this replay of a game that's like over 10-year-old game, because I sure am excited to continue it. But first of all, I want to do some technical difficulty and technical checkups. Mainly because I feel like the game is a little too loud on stream. I've been, like, I know that I'm not, like, an expert when it comes to, like, balancing my audio. I think that's, like, my Achilles heel, and there's a lot of stuff that I should be doing beforehand, but I just don't. I'm also gonna look up, like, so while we're waiting for some people to come in, I'm gonna do some quick, technical difficulties, technical checkups with you guys. Because I feel like there is a bit of how to make the game look as good as possible. Well, there's a new... basically, I need to configure a bunch of settings, so we're gonna see if it works. So in the emulation settings. And I'm also doing that in... Enable advanced bus level training. Dynamic recompiler is in 20. And that's pretty much everything there. In 3D settings, because I complained about it, and it's mostly and it's mostly something that bothered me. Is that like the sprites looked kind of weird, and so I'm gonna fix it now. So it's Open GL32. Soft rasterizer objects. A high precision color. Enable line hack. We're going, and then we'll see if it's fine. GPU scaling factor is 2. Hopefully I didn't kill my Desmume. I hope everything's fine. For some reason the background is a little black. I hope I didn't fuck anything up. The depth needs to be 24. And the texture scaling needs to be 4x. Everything else needs to be fine like this. Okay. Then, the sound settings. I need to put it on P. And hopefully, and I'm also gonna lower it by 90. So yeah, I did some tweaking, and this is definitely something I should have done off stream, but again, I did not do that because I'm a bit of a buffoon. That's it. That's the excuse. Now I need to find. Yeah, I found it. I'm going to properly scale it in. And hopefully the game will start in properly, so we're just gonna do the technical fix-ups on stream. So I go here, recent ROM, and hopefully I didn't fuck up my game resolution. And you know, I could have done I definitely could have done it, you know, I could have made it look a little more, I could have just, like, bought the premium version, but, like, the remaster, but again, it's not the same, even though I know the voice actors are really good. Hello, welcome to the stream. We are playing Zero Escape. It's good to see you, Ninten. It's nice to see you, and yeah. Again, this is, because this stream is gonna be simulcasted, I'm gonna upload it to my YouTube, and because there's gonna be newbies, possibly, I'm gonna ask for no spoilers in chat. I know that some of us played this game. I sure have played this game, and have been aware of, like, the spoilers ever since I even before started playing it, because I was an idiot child who got on it, but yeah. I'm over explaining myself, I know. So yeah. I also did some tweaks in the settings, and we're just going to go in. Oh, I think the sprites look a little I think the sprites look a little nicer than they did last time. I'm going to see. Like, I'm just going to, like, check some footage from the previous game. Again, we're doing technical we're doing technical checkups where when I shouldn't have, but I basically just ended up tweaking with the sprites, and wow, this looks way nicer than it did last time. I'm gonna go to a random sprite with a character. Hell yeah, it looks better! The sprites look less stinky. Like, they look... Like... It looked like the pixelation looks a little nicer. I'm glad. Alright, so basically, here's where we are in the story. Yesterday we finished going behind the 4th door. We denied Santa's bookmark. We did ask, however, about some of June's yaps, and then after reuniting with our friends, Snake has gone missing, and no one is okay about this, especially Clover. But unfortunately, we're running out of time, and it seems like it's time to go through the different doors. 7 has gone through door 7, and also because he doesn't like Lotus, Lotus went through door 8. And now Santa wants to know who's next. Santa's gaze moved across 3 people to the left. Finally, they stopped on Junpei. Junpei, which door do you want? Also, I'm probably gonna have to, like, eventually go downstairs and get myself a bottle of water. Because this is a very intensive stream. It is, so I'm gonna have to go down and get that later. Junpei, which door do you want? At last, Junpei's mind was already made up. We're gonna take door number 3. I wanna go through door number 3. No, you can't. Huh? Why? Because it's impossible. If we split ourselves into 3 and 3, we give up on going through door number 3. Why? The bracelet numbers for the 6 of us are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 2 combinations that can go through door 3 with 3 people. 3, 4, 5, or 6, 7, 8. That's it. Of course, 2 teams can't go through the same door. I see. That means 1 team will get left behind. That's right. That doesn't happen if we go through doors 7 and 8 or 8. No, they're fine. You got 3 options. Santa began to explain. Plan A. Go through door 7 with 3, 5, 8, and go through door 8 with 4, 6, 7. Plan B. Go through door 7 with 4, 5, 7, and go through door 8 with 3, 6, 8. Plan C. Go through door 7 with 3, 6, 7, and go through door 8 with 4, 5, 8. Those are the only 3 options. That's it. At least if we want to get all 6 of us out of here. That was when Junpei realized. Plan A divides into 2 teams. 3, 5, 8, and 4, 6, 7. So it's Santa, us, and Lotus, and Clover, June, and 7. Plan B divides into 2 teams, 4, 5, 7, and 3, 6, 8. In this case, it's Clover, Junpei, and 7, and Santa, June, and 8. Plan C divides into 2 teams, 3, 6, 7. In this case, Santa, June, and 7, and Clover, Junpei, and Lotus. There was one thing they all had in common. In every single combination, 5 and 6 were never in the same team. In other words, yeah, no, the sprite looks nice. The sprites look nicer. Yay, I fixed the stream. I fixed the graphics in the emulator. I'm so proud of myself. Thank you, Reddit. It's all thanks to Reddit, as always. Yeah. Thank you, r/Kingdom Hearts, for 8 years ago for helping me figure out how to fix the game. You know, people love to make fun of Reddit, and justifiably so, but like, it's still a wonderful hub of information. In other words, if only 6 people were to move forward, Junpei and June would be separated. June and Junpei had a friend since they were kids. He trusted her more than anyone else on the ship, and I think that none of the other people on the ship have given us much of a reason to trust them. Clover is mean and paranoid. Lotus has been coldly pragmatic. I mean, Ace, we can't really go with him because he sacrificed himself behind. Santa's a bit of a jerk, and 7 is way too mysterious. We really don't have any options between me and us. I think we should go with June. If he chose 7 or 8, he'd be taken away from her. Was that something he was prepared to do? Anyway, that's the deal. So think it over. You got 2 choices, 7 or 8. You can choose 3. If you choose 3, you're gonna be leaving 3 people behind to die. So what are you gonna do? 7 or 8? Time to choose. Junpei thought hard. After thinking it over, his conclusion was, Nah, fuck you. I'm sticking with door 3. Oh, shit. Again, I'm going for a very specific ending right now. Sorry, Santa, but I still want to go through door 3. What? That's nuts. You've got to be crazy. Why the hell are you so obsessed with that door? I'm just... Junpei paused. He swallowed the words he's been about to say. I'm just curious about door 3, that's all. That doesn't explain shit. I've got a reason. I'd be happy to explain it to you if you'll just come with me. With that, he began walking towards the door. Their curiosity likely getting the better of them, the others followed. A few of them looked a little suspicious, but Junpei told himself that it wouldn't matter. He kept walking and kept silent. Eventually, they arrived at the number 3 door. Junpei stopped. I'm curious about the red. 7, would you mind authenticating for me? Oh no. Huh? Why? Please, just do it. He stared at Junpei for a moment, then grunted and laid his palm heavily on the scanner. Happy? Yeah, thanks. The number 7 has been entered to the red. So this is door 3. So it's 11 plus 7 equals 18. That's 9. Oh, I know who he's gonna take. Next is June. Please touch the red just like 7 did.
Junpei, what are you trying to figure out?
Junpei thought about his answer for a moment. I think I might have found another way out. Huh? What? Really? That got them excited, just as Junpei had intended. Now please, June.
Okay.
7 plus 6 equals 13. 1 plus 3 equals 4. With those two numbers, the red Junpei had what he wanted. He casually placed his own hand on the scanner, and a third asterisk blinked on. So it's 5 plus 6 plus 7 equals 11, 18. It's okay, that's the 9 combo. 4 plus 5 equals 9. Alright. The only pair of people who haven't authenticated now are Santa, Clover, and Lotus. So, what's your point? You don't get it? Think about it. What's the sum of your number in Clover's? 12. And what's the digital root of that? 3. Which is Santa's number. By the way, Lotus, what's the number that's currently in the red? 7 plus 6 plus 5 equals 18. That would be 9, right? Yes. And what will the digital root be if you add 3 to that? Oh god. Man, Junpei is such a jerk in this route. I'm seeing it. I'm smelling the jerk. 3. The door's number. There you go. Hey, wait a minute. What the hell are you up to? I'm not up to anything. I'm just waiting. Waiting for what? I'm waiting for the balance to shift. Santa, or Lotus and Clover. Once one of you moves, the others won't have a choice. So I'm waiting. Junpei laid his hand almost casually on the lever. You son of a bitch! You tricked us! Then all the stuff you were going to do, you're going on about is all bullshit. Bullshit? I don't think so. Didn't I tell you I'd figure out another way to get out of this here? There it is. This is it. Why the hell would you do something like this? Junpei glanced at June.
Junpei.
You did this just so you could go through the same door as June? That's it? Santa was furious. His face was red and flecks of spit flew from his lips as he spoke. Junpei closed his eyes calmly and opened them again. So who's it gonna be? Santa or Lotus and Clover? Shit! We're going! Clover! Lotus leapt forward. She grabbed Clover by the sleeve and ran for Junpei at the door. Caught by surprise, Santa froze for a moment, then shot forward like a bullet from a gun. Lotus had a head start, but Santa had the advantage in size and speed. Almost immediately, he passed Lotus and Clover. No! Wait! Santa did not hesitate. Grrr! He slammed his hand down on the red. This is insane! This isn't right! He glared at Junpei's chest heaving. Yes, well, you may be right. Junpei's voice was cold but without effort. But not without effort. He turned to the red and pulled the lever. With the sound of metal on metal, the door opened. It would only remain for 9 seconds. There was no time to think. Go! Junpei and his 3 reluctant companions jumped into the door's gaping mouth, one after another. No sooner did they enter than an all-too-familiar noise sounded from their left wrists. The detonators had activated. Junpei looked back only once and saw Lotus and Clover on the other side of the closing door. They stood still, stopped where they had when Santa reached the red. The defeat and desperation on their faces tore at Junpei's heart. Then the door closed and they were gone. You son of a bitch, Junpei! This isn't fair! Santa rounded on Junpei, lightning crackling in his eyes and his knuckles white. Do you realize what you just did? You leave them out of here and they can't... Shut it! That's enough! Yeah, no, it's like, listen, before like I fixed the graphics, you could not see Seven's pupil in the sprite. So and like he only had one pupil visible and like the other one was barely white. You can go through the previous stream and check it. It hadn't been Junpei that spoke, but Seven. You gotta find the dead or none of this is gonna matter. The clock was ticking. The dead was in their only chance at survival. Unless they could find it, they'd deactivate the detonators. The 4 of them would be... We got less than a minute left. No time for screwing around. Get moving. They scattered and began to scour the room. The deactivation device was nowhere to be found. Corridors stretched in 3 directions, but everyone was blocked up by a wall of metal. There was only one way out. One other door. There! Seven ran to the door, a rusty iron thing. His large hands grabbed hold of the handle and pulled. The room inside was pitch black. They could see nothing beyond a small patch of light that spilled through the doorway. Junpei stuck his head through the door and looked around the room. Almost immediately, he spotted the blinking red light on the red wall. He found it! The dead's right over here! He stepped into the room and nearly fell down. The floor was slippery. What? He stopped and glanced down on his feet. What was... Hey, what the hell are you doing? Get over here! Get over there! Junpei felt Seven's heavy hand against his back and stumbled across the room. The other 3 piled in behind him. They all felt immediately that something was wrong. Nothing could be easily identified. Only a sense that something terrible has shared the room with them. But there was no time to say so. Quick! Get to the dead! They all started running. In the dark, it was hard to tell where the wall was. All they could see was the tiny red light blinking them over and over and over. And then finally, suddenly, they were there. In quick succession, they all slammed their hands against the scanner panel. And we're in the clear. Seven leaned against the wall, gulping air, and his breathing began to return to normal. He glanced at his left wrist and grunted. Huh. It stopped. It stopped. Junpei could hear him laughing in the dark, but could barely make out the larger man's face. What the... The sound of retching came from Santa's direction. What the hell is this smell? This is vile. I'm gonna puke. So desperate they had been in the race to the dead that no one noticed the horrible smell that pervaded the room. It was terrible, nauseating stench, like burnt and rotten meat. Adrenaline has drowned it out, but now it rolled over. Junpei had rolled over Junpei in waves, forcing itself into his nose with every breath he took. He felt his stomach clench and bile rise up in his throat. Let's get to the lights. Let's get the lights on first. There's a switch over here. The light that spilled in the door barely illuminated a small switch plate next to the door. Slowly, with the toll of the last few minutes apparent in his gait, Seven walks toward it. He stopped as he got close and extended his fingers towards the switch. There was a soft click as the lights came on. Seems like someone spilled some spaghetti on the floor, huh? It had scarcely faded when another noise pitched the air. A scream. Ah! Junpei's breath stopped in his throat. His heart ceased to beat. Time froze. His mind scrambled to make sense of what he saw before him. What was left of the body sat in a sea of blood. Chunks of flesh torn from the body sat in the blood like tiny islands in a great red sea. A vast ragged hole has been torn in the torso, and what remained of his intestines spilled out like fresh spaghetti. Yeah, see, I told you there was spaghetti, that someone spilled some spaghetti. Smaller chunks of meat had splattered against the wall and became stuck there as they dried. Globules of yellowish fat and left trails of tiny slugs as gravity pulled them down the wall, even as they dried to it. There was an explosion. Seven's voice was low and strained, just like the ninth man. The detonators in his bracelet set off the bomb in his gut. It looked as though the explosion has been quite powerful. His legs were both spent in an odd and natural way, and his left arm has split open, exposing the painfully white bone of his ulna. His bracelet lay next to him. It seemed to have hit the wall hard enough to have shattered the display, which lay on the ground in pieces. Half of his head has simply collapsed. The blood coating almost made it look like raw pizza dough covered in tomato sauce. His clothes, too, were covered in blood. The burgundy tie, the white shirt, the jacket with yellow piping, the gray slacks. They were all familiar to Junpei. Is that Snake? Santa's voice wavered as he spoke, his mouth dry. Oh my god. Finally, Junpei spoke. Why did this happen? No! Suddenly, June was screaming, her voice broken. It was an eerie scream full of insanity and not entirely human. No! 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 She shook her head violently and grabbed fistfuls of her own hair. Junpei could hear the sound of hair tearing. No! Stop it, June! He grabbed for her wrist. And as he did, Junpei leapt up and ran towards the exit. Please! Get me out of here! You have to let me out of here! She screamed at the door and her fist slammed against it with a hollow sound. Junpei could see drops of blood on her knuckles. What are you doing these horrible things to us? What? What did we do to deserve this? She screamed again, in desperate, mindless cry. Her fists failed against the door. You know, I'm really curious to see how it sounds in the remaster, not gonna lie. Get me out of here! Please! Please just get me out! Junpei couldn't watch anymore. He ran to June and wrapped his arm around her, pulling the screaming girl away from the door. No, get off me! Let me go! Let me go! She screamed for a moment, her legs skittering across the floor, but her resistance didn't last long. And suddenly, as her outbursts began, it was over. The manic energy disappeared and her body went limp in Junpei's arms. June collapsed towards the floor, and Junpei knelt down with her. He felt drops of something warm and wet. Was she crying? A moment later, she began to sob. Her shoulders shook, and great hot tears rolled down on her face like rain. We're gonna be fine. It's gonna be alright, June. It's gonna be okay, Connie. Her name was a whisper. I'll be here with you, okay? She nodded once. Thank you. Thank you so much, Junpei. Her trembling voice pulled at Junpei's heart. He stroked her hair gently. His face was close to her, and the scent of her hair was nostalgic. Do you feel better? Yes, but I'd like to stay here. For a little while at least. Junpei's body is so warm. Several minutes passed before June's tears had dried. Junpei stood up. He bent down, put his arms under June's, and helped her to her feet. They didn't speak. Neither did Seven or Santa. A person was dead. They had died in this room in a terrible way. Junpei knew there was no way he could make himself forget that. There was no way any of them could forget it, but mourning would do no good. They spread out and searched the room, but each felt as if their heart was made of lead. Time for another escape room. Let's go! Time for another banger alert. These letters written in blood. LLR. Do you think they might be some sort of dying message from Snake? No, that's impossible. You saw that body. You aren't doing anything after something like that happens to you. And then this. The way blood's dry tells you it's real old. Whoever's blood it is, it ain't Snake's. And you're saying this blood was put here a long time ago? Yeah. I'm gonna write down the LLRs. What could it mean? I mean, it is pretty obvious. It's just left, left, right, but maybe it could be something else? Alright, let's see if anything happens when I turn you. Nope, nothing. Not even a drop. Is the pipe clogged? Could be. There's a piece of paper tied to the pipe with a wire. Notice, drainage valve operation. Please do not flush the water in these pipes. Doing so may cause the drain to overflow. I don't think we have the entire combination to do this puzzle, but we should take note of it regardless. It looks like a card. Like a key card. I wonder if we can get to it somehow. Don't think so. It's too deep, I can't reach it. Yep, seems like we need to look some stuff up. I already checked all 3 toilets, you know. Nothing unusual there. Nothing in the toilets, are you sure? There's a bucket.
It's a tin bucket. Hey, Junpei! Do you remember what back in elementary school when you spilled all your paint across the whole classroom? They made you clean it up, and all they gave you was a sponge and a bucket like this.
Hey, come on now. Can't we just leave the past in the past? Dude, she literally saw a dead body and had a breakdown about it. Let her cope. Junpei reached for the broom, and as he grabbed it, he heard a soft voice from behind him. It was June.
The rabbit hutch.
Huh? He turned around. June still looked sadly pale, but there was a smile on her face.
Oh, you just remind me of it. The rabbit hutch, I mean.
How did I remind you of something like that?
Junpei and the broom. You were always playing around with the broom in front of the rabbit hutch.
I was?
Don't you remember?
Junpei stared at the broom in his hand.
You mean you don't remember that summer either?
She looked very sad. He shook his head. Of course I remember. How could I forget something like that? It was terrible. They were in 6th grade. Junpei and June had been assigned to take care of the classroom pets, the rabbits. Their chief duty was to clean the hutches every morning. On the final day of school before summer began, Junpei overslept. He rushed to school and found June standing in front of the rabbit hutches. No sooner had Junpei arrived than June began to cry. He had no idea why until he looked behind her into the rabbit hutch. The first thing he saw was blood. The hutch was filled with dead bodies of the rabbits. Oh, that's so fucked. Even after their teachers and friends came to see the commotion was, Junpei couldn't stop crying.
I just kept crying and crying until you came over. You held my hand and looked very serious as you said, "Don't cry, I'm gonna catch the person who did this." After you told me that, I finally stopped crying.
Well, the real fun started after you quit crying. You told me you were gonna catch the killer together. June smiled and a little flush of life returned to her cheeks.
Then we decided we'd ambush them.
Yeah, I remember. The school also kept roosters and guinea pigs. Junpei and June had decided the murderer would likely return to finish off the rest of the animals. They would ambush the killer at night. Junpei and June hid behind the hutch at dusk and waited. It was a warm summer night, and the quiet sound of crickets whispered through the air. As the sun went down, the stars began to wink at them from the sky, and June's Akane Kurashiki's face. That night was something Junpei would never forget as long as he lived. But the murderer never showed up. He waited for them all summer vacation and they never showed up.
Yeah, but the animals didn't get attacked either. I think all that work had amounted to something, you know?
He felt the same way, but it was good to hear her say it. Although, you know, if you think about it, we were probably taking a lot more than we could handle.
Huh? What do you mean?
She looked up at him, confused. Well, come on. We were just kids. If whoever killed the rabbits had actually should... They probably would have had a knife or something. I mean, you must have been pretty worried, right?
I wasn't worried. Because you were with me.
She blushed furiously.
Oh, I'm so angry I could blush. You know, no one else wanted to take care of the animals.
Clearly embarrassed, she tried to change the subject.
I was the only one who asked to do it at first.
Yeah, boys don't really want to bother with taking care of animals, you know?
Well, yeah, but you asked to do it after I did, don't you? Didn't you?
If it wasn't the rabbits, they were gonna make me do something else, you know? How that school was. I figured it'd be better if I was working with somebody I wasn't too much of a loudmouth. Who wasn't too much of a loudmouth, right? Somebody wasn't gonna tell on me if I felt like blowing it off.
Really? That's why you volunteered?
Yeah, really it is. He nodded quickly too earnestly, and then looked away at something very important. That hadn't been the reason, of course. He had asked to take care of the rabbit so that he could be near June. But it had been so long ago, he couldn't bring himself to tell her how he felt back then. It would be embarrassing. He took a quick breath to clear his head, tossed the broom up, and then snatched it out of the air. Well, we don't really have time to be walking down memory lane like this, you know? We gotta figure out a way out of this room, otherwise...
Yes.
June nodded curtly and turned and walked away. Junpei turned around and looked at the room. At Snake's body, chunks of flesh and organs lay on the floor. The conversation he and June had been having scarcely fit their surroundings. But perhaps that was simply human nature. Despite such a situation, or perhaps because of it, the mind turned to the farthest thing from death that it could find. Still, Junpei couldn't help but feel a huge twinge of guilt at wanting so desperately to live when Snake lay dead before him. He had to live. He wanted to live life again, and a life with June in it. As he stared at the clumps of blackened flesh, all Junpei could think of was how much he wanted to live. And we have a broom! What are you doing with the broom? You know, if you look at it real close, you can see it's got these lines cut that kind of spiral up the shaft. Really? I guess I kind of see it, but it's a little hard to see. A broom. It has lines cut and it spiral up the shaft. Anything about the bucket?
It's a tin bucket.
I wonder if the material is going to be relevant. A thick pipe that stretches across the floor. Let's see. This is where the toilet is.
What do you think this is?
Looks like a tar. It's kind of sticky. I don't think we can just wipe it off. I doubt just pouring some water in is going to help much either.
What about hot water?
Hot water?
If we had some really hot water, like boiling hot, maybe we could wash it off.
That's good thinking. There's some toilet paper on the shelf. It's a water tank for the toilet. I've seen a lot of OC guys try to hide a piece of something like this. Go and try and hide a piece in something like this. Usually for in 187 or something. I guess they think it's clever. They'll know it, they'll figure out everybody else thinks it's clever too. Huh? I mean, I know peace, but what's OC? Organized crime? Ooh, we're getting some foreshadowing. What is that? Some kind of police slang? Huh? Oh, probably. Huh. What did I say? Why do you look all sad now? That's not really important right now, guys. Let's just check it out, alright? Well, he's not wasting any time. And it seems like there is something in there. I wonder if I broom both of these... Nope. No dice. Toilet tank, there's nothing in it. Which means we can't flush it. Kinda hard to flush a toilet without water. Yeah, you know, here's a life hack I learned recently for speaking of toilets. If your toilet is clogged, like in your room, and like you can't flush it, and the dividing wall that separates the toilets, you can just take a bucket of water, fill it up, and then pour it down the toilet, and it's gonna help to, to flush it. There might be something in the tank, you know. Let's open that shit up. Oh, there's a red key card. Could be helpful. Skinny shelf. There's nothing in the toilet. If there was, there would be. Gross. Yeah. I didn't say that again. Oh, we were already here. We already checked this guy out. There's a lever over here on the tank. Nothing happens if I pull it, though. Nothing. Doesn't flush flies and the tank's empty, genius. The pipe's supposed to fill must be pumped. Well, couldn't you just get some water and pour it straight in there? Yeah, exactly. You just need some water to pull it in. Come on, man. I said I already checked them. What, don't you trust me? Jesus, Junpei, I said I checked them all. The doors to the toilet stalls. Santa says he already checked them out. Didn't find anything, apparently. And he's very self-conscious about it, seems like. The thermometer was screwed onto the wall. That meant Junpei needed to take the screws out of the screwdriver. While he had so engaged, Santa suddenly spoke. Hey, Junpei. You know why the thermometers only go up to 107 degrees Fahrenheit or 75 degrees Celsius like this one? Junpei answered without taking his eyes off the screw. Nope, can't say I ever thought about that. At 107 degrees, the cells on the human body start to die and the organs begin to shut down. The proteins in your cells start to harden. It's like when you hard boil an egg. Even if you cool it down afterwards, it won't go back to being a raw egg. In other words, it's dead. That's why thermometers don't go past 107. There's no point. Why had Santa brought that up, Junpei wondered. Oh yeah. He continued to work at the screw. But it's pretty rare for a fever to get that high. Even viruses and stuff don't usually drive body temperature up to 107. Of course, there are other external things it could do. I'm gonna check. 107 Fahrenheit to Celsius. That's 41 degrees Celsius. That's a terrible fever. Like what? Well, let's say something getting locked up in a sauna, or getting thrown into an incinerator and burned to death. That's specific. Yeah, I guess they would get a little hotter than 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Junpei gave a short barking laugh. A moment later, the screw fell off. With a small tug, Junpei pulled the thermometer from the wall. Alright, I got it! He looked up and saw Santa glaring at a blank section of the wall. Huh? What's up? Nothing. Forget about it. Santa spun around and walked off, away from Junpei. But as Junpei watched him go, he didn't look angry. He looked very, very sad. I wonder what's going on.
Oh, you took the thermometer off. It says open at the bottom of the gauge. I wonder what that means.
Maybe when it gets that hot, something would open. Could be. Okay, so we need a password to open this door. That's where we came in. Guess it's not locked, but there ain't really any point. Well, let's turn to the number door. We can't go back to the number door, even if we wanted to. Okay. Do we have enough information, or am I blind? It's probably the latter. Knowing me, it's probably the latter. Huh? It looks like there's something down there in the grate. That's too deep. Yeah, we do need to get the water back. Shit, that's hot. Really hot. Man, that water must be just about boiling. Oh, okay. Maybe I can use the shower here to fill the bucket with hot water? Hey, Seven, could you turn on the shower? I'm gonna put that bucket under the head. Hey, Gamercore, nice seeing you. You missed the Gore Fest that was Snake's explosion. And also Santa mentioning the incinerator for whatever mysterious reason, you know? Yep, so I'm currently doing the escape room here. Filling the bucket and all that crap. Seems like we have a bucket filled with hot water. It's filled with water. Trying to spill, okay?
It's heavy.
Okay, I'll carry it. I wonder... Nope, it does not work. But... if we spill it on this, maybe it'll work. There's something that looks like tar inside a toilet bowl. If we flush hot water down the bucket, that should clean it up. Ah! Alright, so just pour the hot water into the tank, and looks like you filled it. Now you should be able to flush it, right? There's probably a handle somewhere on the tank you can pull. You think so? Serious? Yeah, pretty sure. Tank's filled with boiling water. All you gotta do is pull the handle. Alright, let's flush the hot water. Well, there it goes, just like a toilet should work. And we have 185 equals. I'm gonna write that down as well. That stuff's washed off. Looks like the writing has numbers, see it?
185 equals... What is it?
You got me, it just looks like numbers. I wonder if there's something... And we... I wonder if I did this and this, the directly flushed out a cell to the bottom of the bowl. So the thing I'm wondering is, do we have all the clues we need? And there's nothing inside the toilet to flush. Yeah, if I can get the hot water out of the thermometer, then maybe. Alright, the thermometer, let's get the party started. Yep, looks like that's doing the trick. There goes the gauge. Now it's at the open mark. Huh, it opened. What's this? Looks like there's a piece of paper in there. So it's 957,985 equals. Okay, it seems like we have 2 parts of one whole.
The red light's on, Junpei.
957 plus 185 equals. There is one hint I haven't figured out yet. I'm gonna check it. Oh, I need the red and blue lights on. I can't, Old message written LLR. Maybe I just need to, like, rotate. Did the drain overflow now? Yeah, we know. I'm just... Now I need to figure... I think I'm missing a hint. I'm just gonna trust Santa. Yeah, Santa was really aggressive about... not getting it. Hey Thabs, nice seeing you. I am currently trying to activate my brain cells. Thick pipe that stretches across the floor. Some pipes, they're connected to the tank on the toilet. Sorry if I'm frustrating you guys. Yeah, I'm doing good. Again, I feel like I'm missing something here. And doing left, left, right doesn't work here. So... where didn't I check evidence already? Ah, an old message written in blood. It says, and I think maybe I could do something here. Maybe I can take the toilet paper. There's some toilet paper on this shelf. Nope, no, nothing. Bruh, I don't even remember this one. I don't remember this one either. Ah, huh. Oh. Yeah, I knew I missed a corner. Let's wrap this toilet paper around the room. It's 634 plus. So you wrap the toilet around the room. Looks like the symbols line up perfectly. It says 634 plus. A wooden box. There's something in there. Ah, luminol. There we go. I knew I missed it. I missed the corner. Wait, you don't really think we were supposed to use the luminol here, do you? Yeah, it does sound kind of weird to use it here. Maybe I should try just in case. The good old luminol. It's left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left. It's like it's left, left, right, left, right, left. And then we should be able to get the blue card. Okay. I knew I missed the I absolutely missed this spot. I should have seen it. Left, left, right. Left. Left, left, right. Right, left. Well, I did what it said in the wall. I wonder if it actually did anything. Hey, this drain's acting up. What the hell do you do? I just messed with the valves a little. Nothing big. And we got it. This must be water. There must be water flowing through the pipe on the right. There's water pouring down the drain. And we have a blue key card that has Lotus's symbol.
It's a blue key card.
This is the symbol for Mercury, isn't it? There was an elevator right outside the big hospital room. I think the same symbol. I think the same symbol was on the card reader next to it.
That's right.
I guess that means we're not supposed to use this card in this room.
Do you really think so? You don't think maybe we need it for this room and for the elevator?
Yeah, this is an obvious hint from that we also need to use it.
Good job, Junpei. Both of the lights are on now. Now I just need to put in the password.
Okay, so it's 185 plus 957 plus 634. It's 5. 5 plus 7 plus 4. It's 9 plus 7. 9 plus 7 equals 16. It's 9. It's 9 plus 5 equals 14 plus 17. And then it's 2 plus 9. 11. 1776. The lights are on. You should be able to enter the password now. Okay, what's with the E and C keys? E means enter and C means clear, I think. So after you put the password, you hit E. If you screw up, then hit C. What? And my math was correct. No calculator used. I am a genius. We did it! Outside of the shower room was a hallway that extended off to the left and right. At the right was a large iron door. They'd moved a few steps forward the door when Junpei heard the sound of metal on metal. They turned around. Sun was doing something to the door of the shower room. What are you doing, Seven? Well, I figure maybe you might want to come back here sometime. So I stuck the broom to keep the door from shutting. All right, let's go. With that, he stood up and began walking down the hallway. He brushed past Junpei and kept going. After a moment, the rest of them followed him. Before long, they found themselves at a large iron door. I really forgot, like, how pragmatic Seven is. So, like, obviously, it's pretty obvious, like, from the way he speaks, you find out that he's probably was some kind of detective, but it's really cool. Yeah, he is a G.
Junpei, look.
He turned. There on the right side of the hallway was a piece of paper attached to the wall. Junpei ran over and peeled it off. More maps! It's a map of the ship's interior. It said C deck in the upper left corner. From what he could tell, it was a map to the floor they were on. There would be time to look at it later. Junpei folded the map and stuffed it into its pocket. Yeah, hello, welcome to the stream. We're currently playing Zero Escape. Thackert, really nice to see you. I hope you stick around. We're playing 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Back at the door, the 4 of them lined up in front of it. 7 stepped forward. He grabbed hold of the door and then turned to look back at the rest of them. Ready? I'm gonna open it. They nodded. Santa nodded back and threw the door open. All 4 of them leapt through. It took only a moment for them to realize where they were. They had been there a short while ago. It was the large hospital room, filled with countless beds. Lotus and Clover looked up as they entered. Ace was there as well, although he looked as though he had only just woken up. The moment they spotted Junpei, Lotus and Clover headed straight for him. As she neared him, Lotus threw back her hands and slapped him, open-palmed, across the face. I mean, Junpei played really dirty. I don't blame her. How could you do this to us? Her face was furious. She grabbed Junpei by the collar and shook him violently. Clover didn't touch him, but the hate in her eyes was no less potent. It was 7 who stopped them. Knock it off! We got bigger shit to worry about right now. His deep voice echoed across the massive room. Lotus glared at 7, but let Junpei go after one last vicious snake. Let Junpei go after one last vicious shake. What? Go have a look. I stuck the screwdriver in the door. The door over there, the one without a number. So long as the screwdriver is there, it can't shut, so you can get in there. 7 also explained how they might find the shower room, or how he'd used the broom to ensure that the door remained open as well. Then you're saying we can go in there without passing through the numbered door? Yeah, that's about the size of it. What the hell is in there? You'll know when you see it. Lotus and Clover looked at one another for a moment, then nodded and stepped through the door. By then, Ace had already made his way to them, moving with the stiff, shuffling steps of someone who only just awoken from a lengthy slumber. My goodness. I know I said I was sure you'd come back for me. I didn't think it would happen so soon, though. Ace shook his head weakly. Should I go as well? 7 nodded. Very well. Ace followed Lotus and Clover with his stiff, tired gait. The squeal of tortured metal made Junpei's teeth curl. It sounded like the noise of a ghost would make. No matter how many times they've heard it, he never got used to it. Every time it put him on edge. It didn't help that there was a girl nearby who looked far more like a ghost than a living human should. It was Clover. She sat on the edge of the bed, her head drooping listlessly onto her chest. Her eyes were blank and stared across the room at nothing. Her breathing was slow and mechanical. Aside from the rise and fall of her chest, she didn't move. Junpei felt as if the nudge might cause her to shatter into 1,000 pieces. Snake was probably murdered. Chances are that he was killed the same way the ninth man was. 7 lowered his voice, most likely an effort to keep Clover from hearing what he had to say. There were 4 other people in the room with Junpei and 7. Ace, Santa, June, and Lotus. 7 looked at each of them in turn and continued. It's pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out how they did it. First, the killers got Snake to authenticate the red to open door 3. Then they shoved him into it, alone, and waited 9 seconds for the door to shut. Once the door shut, it was over for Snake, but he didn't give up. probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he ran into the shower. He had been looking for the dead. There was a small chance, but it was like he had nothing. It wasn't like he had anything to lose. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The detonator is only deactivated. Everyone who's authenticated when they went uses the dead. Then 81 seconds after he was shoved in. That happened. I see. So that's what he meant by killers, huh? You need at least 3 people to open one of the numbered doors, including Snake. It wouldn't open for Snake and a single killer. I was just writing some notes for myself. That means we're looking at multiple perps here. Junpei crossed his arms and grunted. Well, just in case, I want to make sure. Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed? Well, we all split up to look for parts of the Reds, I think. Right after that was when we noticed he was gone. That means none of us have alibis. We were all off searching the rooms we'd been assigned, looking for those parts. Yeah. That means anybody could be a killer.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
June seemed shocked.
How could you say one of us is a killer so casually?
Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least 2 of us are murderers. Why'd you call down a bit, 7? What are we going to gain by being so suspicious? And that's what 0 wants, you know? What 0 wants. Exactly. This game was set up by 0, wasn't it? Any game has a winner and loser. Whoever makes it through door number 9 is a winner, and those who don't are losers. 0 is trying to make us fight one against another for that victory. Well, not everyone could be a killer, just those 2 who added. When added, could open the door. Yeah, maybe someone else was blackmailed. So we need a digital root of 3, and there are a couple of ways to get it. We know that Junpei is not the killer. So that rules him out. So we need people with the sum of 11. It can also either be, oh, it's 12, so it's the sum of 10. So in this case, you can pretty much say that, oh, it's 7 and Santa, and number 5. So in this case, if you add the 2, it's 10, and then you can say that 7 and Santa are the perps if you're doing the math that way. You can also say that it's Clover and June, but Clover has no reason to kill her brother. So it's 7 and 3. And then from this way you have that combination. 0 is trying to make us fight one against another for that victory.
And you're saying that 0 is trying to make us split up by fighting each other?
Which, you know, makes 7 pretty suspicious about how he wasn't frightened by the body. I don't know. Yes. This is why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion. We have to trust one another and form a strong bond of friendship. On a ship. Otherwise, we'll be ensnared by 0's manipulations.
Then, does that mean that the person who killed Snake?
Yes, almost certainly 0 himself. If there's anyone who should doubt, it should be 0. Gigantic Among Us mod. Yeah, exactly! He masterminded the game and kidnapped all of us. Doesn't it seem reasonable that we would have killed Snake as well? Junpei hadn't really considered that. If 0 had killed Snake, 0 was on the ship with them. Was 0 still on the ship with them? I'd say that's... well... I think it's pretty fair that he's still on the ship. Of course he was. It was obvious. And then we have our plus X members of people on the ship. Zero was somewhere on the ship, but Junpei had no idea where. Junpei mumbled to himself, lost in thought. Where could Zero be hiding? Suddenly everyone went very quiet. The silence was cold and clammy, and Junpei could feel it crawling across his back and around his throat. Again he heard the ghosting moaning noise, and moments later, a person looked like more ghost than human appeared. It was Clover. She looked at the door as she spoke, and her voice was cold and monotone. I think Zero is one of us. Every human body in the room froze. The only sound that was muffled, rustling off breath. Eyes started at the face-to-face. One of those faces was the face of the jailer. But who? Junpei said, "That's crazy." That's crazy. Isn't that ship going to sink in a few hours? If Zero was here with us, he'd be putting himself in danger. Why the hell would he do something like that? There's no motive. Clover looked up at Junpei, her face fell.
You don't believe me?
Her eyes were so pitiful. The moment Junpei's met them, he felt his heart tighten. He didn't think what he said was wrong, but perhaps the way he'd said it has been too insensitive. Clover had just lost her brother. His death would have been bad enough, but she also seen the blasted wreck of his body. Junpei barely knew him, and the sight had been enough to make him sick. What Clover had felt, he couldn't begin to imagine. In the mental state she must have been in, it was understandable she would look at those around her with suspicion. She felt everyone was against her. The least Junpei could have done was try to understand what she was feeling. He felt ashamed of what he'd said. Perhaps he thought, I should apologize. But before that apology could begin, Clover, I understand what you're feeling. You don't feel like you can trust any of us. Ace has beaten Junpei to the punch. And he spoke to Clover. His face was calm and friendly. But you have to understand, the more we distrust one another, the further we fall into our true foe's trap. Zero was the one who did this horrible things to your mother. Do you want to let yourself be manipulated by someone who could do such a horrible thing? Clover didn't answer. She didn't even look at Ace. The whole time her eye was on Junpei. He could feel Clover's eyes boring into him. I'm gonna wait, hold on. No, it's not a... They were the color of a deep winter lake. Junpei saw no suspicion in them, only sadness. Then that horrible silence. They heard a bell begin to ring. It was the clock at the central staircase. 3 a.m. That means we have 3 hours left. And we need to move now. 7, Clover. I know how you feel, but you do understand that right now it's important we trust one another, don't you? 7 and Clover remained silent. Their eyes were looking at something somewhere else, very far away. We must go. We have very little time left. Ace's words put their feet into moving. They all knew where they were going. Their next destination was Mercury. They stood in front of the elevators next to the stairs that led to the casino and kitchen. Between the two elevators was a card reader with the Mercury symbol engraved on it. Junpei stood in front of it with the Mercury key card. He'd found the card while investigating the shower room. He stood, he took a deep breath and slid the card through the reader. It made a small beep, and the lights on the reader blinked to life. Now they were ready. 7 people, including Junpei, climbed onto the elevator. There were only two floor buttons they could push, the C and the bottom buttons. The rest were destroyed or did nothing when pushed. Junpei hit the bottom button. The door closed. Slowly they began to move downward. Sometime later, all 7 of them stepped off the elevator and onto the bottom deck. They stepped off and saw that the hallway to the right ended between 20 and 25 feet from them. The hallway in front of them was a dead end, but not a regular dead end.
This is a number door.
Yeah, it's door 2. Immediately they began to discuss who would go through it. Their earlier experiences had showed them that they would meet again regardless of which number doors they took. As a result, there were no arguments this time. Instead, they concerned themselves with who would be sent to investigate what was beyond the door. The first to volunteer was 7. Junpei followed suit, which meant Lotus was, by default, the 3rd member. 5 plus 7 equals 8, 20. 2 plus 0 equals 2. Alright, we're taking off. Also, another 21 minus 2 equals 19. Yeah, that would require... Like, right now, the main way to look at it with all of our ways is that maybe like 7 and Santa probably were in cahoots and killed Snake. Alright, we're taking off.
Okay, please be careful.
Jesus, you two are acting like you're married, you know that? June blushed. So did Junpei. I also noticed that she has these twinklies in her eyes. Perhaps in an attempt to hide his emotions, he quickly turned away to pull the red lever on the bed. Did you know that Kotaro Uchikoshi took inspiration from Star Wars and like the 9 archetypes displayed there in order to plan the characters? He also went by the same principle for Virtue's Last Reward, the sequel for the game. The door opened. As they came to expect, there appeared to be a short hallway on the other side. Alright, let's go! Lotus was the first through the door. 7 was next, and Junpei brought up the rear. Fortunately, it took them only moments to find the dead. It had been placed just inside the room, right next to the numbered door. They gathered around it and quickly scanned each of their bracelets. That's suspiciously convenient. It stopped. Yeah, it stopped. Junpei could feel his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs. 7 and Lotus were breathing hard and fast. It was the 3rd time they'd been through the process, but they had yet to grow accustomed to it. Not that Junpei wanted to. He planned to finish the game before he got a chance to let imminent death become commonplace. Junpei looked around again. It was a short hallway with 5 doors along the walls. There were 3 doors along the left wall, and a single one on the right. At the end of the hallway, the 5th door was covered by a thick metal plate. Junpei didn't think they'd be able to open it. After taking a look around the room himself, 7 spoke. Alright, let's get started. I think we'd probably best split up. You two okay with that? Yes, no problem. Sure thing. 7 nodded to them and stepped into the room closest to him. Lotus looked at the doors for a moment, then headed for the one on the center. At last, Junpei was left alone. Well, I guess I better get started too. He looked intently at the remaining 3 doors. You know, I'm also gonna humble brag. I don't really remember the solutions to a lot of the puzzles, hence why you saw me got stuck. I just managed to solve the puzzles on my own without opening without muscle memory. But before we do that, I'm gonna go and take a quick break to get myself a bottle of water and go to the bathroom. So I will see you in a bit. I still have my cup of coffee next to here that I probably should have taken with me, but it's fine. It'll just be here until the end of the stream. Yeah. So let's investigate this place. There's some weird graffiti here. What the hell is that supposed to be? Like a drawing of a whirlpool or something. Well, if I had to guess, I'd say it's trying to look like water. Anything in the sink? There's a little tile in the drain. Doesn't look like we're gonna be able to pull it out of here. Might have to use our heads on this one. Alright, let's figure this thing out. There's a dirty blanket on the bed. Yeah, it doesn't seem like we can move it out. Man, this is a mess. It's not even a bed anymore. I would say I'd want to sleep there. It's pretty icky. Anything else? Huh? What the hell? It's not opening. There's something up with this drawer. Don't trust it. I don't trust it. Somebody made sure this drawer wouldn't open. The chair is pretty old. Haven't sat on it. Sat on it, it'll probably break. Huh? You say something? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Another toilet puzzle. Let's go. Toilet paper too, huh? I seriously doubt I'm gonna need this for anything. Well, this part is thinner than the rest. In fact, it doesn't look like it's part of the rest of this thing. The rod feels loose. Maybe if I give it a couple of turns. Here we go. And we have a screwdriver shaft. Hey, this is a screwdriver shaft. It's missing a handle though. Even if we run it into a screw, it fits. We're gonna have a hard time without a handle. Well, if we can find a handle, maybe then it'll do us some good. Anything inside the toilet? It's the sun. Symbol on a toilet, huh? Seems a bit fishy to me. It's a sun symbol. Doesn't look like it's one of the doors. You know, there is a name for this route that we're currently on. I'm not gonna spoil it because spoilers, but I guess we can call it the toilet route because we have 2 toilet-related puzzles in a row. Damn, this toilet's pretty nasty to begin with, but the inside's even worse. Honestly, I'm amazed you can bring yourself to touch it. Huh. There's way nastier stuff out there in the world than a gross toilet. You're a real deep thinker, aren't you? Words of wisdom. Hey, this handle's pretty loose. Loose. Think it'll come up, pull on it? It fell off. Look at this, that handle doesn't really fit the string. Maybe it wasn't meant to be attached to it. Hey, look good. The inside of the hollow is threaded, like you're supposed to screw something in there. You've seen something that might fit there? Yep, we just saw it. Well, hello and welcome to Shark Tank. Today I'm going to give you a screwdriver that could be a part of your bedroom. The shaft can also be used as a toilet paper holder, and the handle can be used as a toilet handle for flushing. Please give me all your money. That is very useful. You can also use it. You can also take it with you on the go, and not only use it as a screwdriver, but also as the portable toilet paper handle or a bathroom handle in case you go in a shitty toilet. I don't know what's funnier, my joke or the tomato. Let's go, we got our portable screwdriver. Shark Tank, give me your money. The combination, yeah. Oh my god, I'm crying. Sweet, got the screws off. Now we can open the drawer. There's nothing in there. Well, maybe the drawer is what we need. The drawer, huh? Alright, let's yank the thing out. Anything special about this? Well, it seems like there's indentations in the back. There's a bump on the back. I wonder what it's for. Maybe there's a hole in there somewhere. And these bumps line up like a trigger or a hidden switch or something. Hey, we've seen weirder stuff. That doesn't seem that far-fetched. I don't think I can find anything right now. There's a dirty blanket on the bed. Okay, let's go to the next one. Oh, another drawing. Somebody made some wavy blue lines on the mirror with blue paint. Is that a drawing of a blue scarf? No, maybe not. Someone drew a wavy line on the mirror with blue paint. The drain is kind of a weird shape for a drain. You think they made that shape for a reason, or just for fun? Good question. Ah, we have a towel! Well, it looks like a towel. I have to wonder if the design means anything, though. Maybe you should consider what the design might be. Perhaps it'll give us a hint. Well, I mean, it looks like a shower thing. That bed looks cold. I'm pretty sure you'd freeze to death in the winter. No kidding. If I tried to sleep here, my skin would dry out in no time. Oh, it's not like you're that young anymore. That really shouldn't matter. My, Junpei, aren't you lucky? It seems you'll die before you have a chance to grow old and hideous. She takes no Don't fuck with the queen. I'm sorry, you're right. Dried skin is a woman's worst enemy. Bed looks even sadder without the pillow. So, it's still a terrible bed. I never sleep on a bed like that. Down on your knees before the queen. Yeah, exactly. It's just hanging from the wall. Well, we're pulling on the string. That might be a toilet flushes. And there's a moon on this toilet. This toilet is disgusting. You don't expect me to touch that thing, are you? If you don't want to do it, then I'll do it, alright? The paper seems to be pretty old. Oh, how the hell can you touch that? It's horrible. Well, it's not like I really got a choice, do I? It's not like I want to. Okay. There's nothing in the drawer. Yeah, something's not right though. The handle of the drawer doesn't look really fit, you know, it just looks messy. Why don't you take it out? I think I can screw it. If I use the screwdriver on the screw on the center of the handle, maybe I can... There we go, so we have a mirror. This is a mirror, actually. If you look at this drawer, I mean closely, you see there's a mirror on the back of it. Ooh. Lotus, you okay? Did you break? What do you think is going to happen if you put a mirror in front of a woman? What an absolute men writing moment. That's a men writing moment right there. Men. Sweet. The handle I got off the drawer fits the faucet perfectly. Now I can turn the water on. Junpei, what are you doing? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I'm running the water. I can see that. I'm asking then why you're just letting it run like that. Think about it, Lotus. The faucet didn't have a knob when we found it, right? What do you mean? Just watch. Anytime now. Hey, water's filling up. Doesn't that just mean the pipes are clogged? Whoops, let's turn it off for now. So, did anything change? The water stopped flowing. Thank you, Mr. Obvious. Ugh, Junpei, I'm leaving this one to you, alright? The sink is totally filled with water. Well, I think that... Oh, okay, I don't think there's anything I can do with it right now, and we need a screwdriver for everything. There is one more room we've yet to investigate, if I remember correctly. Emergence. There's a bunch of tiles on the floor that spell out emergence. Emergence? Maybe it just means we need to emerge out of here? Yeah, maybe we need to do something with the tiles, but we have no idea how. Emergence. That's door numero tres. We actually... Oh yeah, we can probably use this mirror to reflect the light. Now I just gotta figure out where to reflect the light. Maybe if I go somewhere that's a little easier to shine light on. Wait, no, I want to be here. I can see a partition over there. It seems pretty pointless to bother examining it. When I shine light in the mirror in the back... Is that a number? 47. Okay. So if I shine light in the mirror, I get some numbers. You see a 4 on the left and a 7 on the right. 4 and 7. So if I shine light in this mirror in the back, get it? I get the moon. You take the moon and you take the sun. And you take the moon 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 and you take the moon. I get it. If I shine light, the symbol appears. The left one is the sun and the right one has the moon symbol. I'm gonna remember this. Any other mirrors we haven't missed? No, it seems like this is the only mirrors. I can just barely make out the string for the toilet, but I can get a hold of it. Damn it! It kind of pisses me off that I can see it, but I can't touch it. Toilet paper. It's still wide enough for me to know what it is, even in the dark. There's nothing out of the ordinary about it. And 14 equals E. Which means we're back to hexadecimals, if I remember correctly. I actually wrote down the hexadecimals a few days ago. Yeah, 14 equals E. I'm gonna... What is this? 14 equals E. Probably means 14. Somewhere represents an E, but I don't know what 14 that would be. I mean, it technically is an hexadecimal. It's a sink, but there's no light shining on it. It's hard to be sure because it's dark, but I don't think there's anything going on. The faucet is too hard to turn on. The mirror was probably here. Okay, I don't think there's anything else in here. What about the bed? It's a blanket, not a really great one, but still. This light's barely able to see it, but I feel like I'm gonna see a ghost or something. Oh, and another door. Ugh. God damn it! No matter how hard I pull on this thing, it won't budge. I guess I won't be opening this one anytime soon. Doesn't look like I have a keyhole. Doesn't seem like there's anything stopping it. How the hell am I supposed to open it? This is old and rusty. Maybe there's something on the sofa. There's a simple chair over there if the light doesn't shine. I see a partition over there, but it seems pretty pointless to bother examining it. There isn't anywhere I can use this tower. Why the hell did I bring this thing with me? Okay. Just saying that there's no light shining on it. Hold on. Maybe I can use the towel to take the water out. Oh, I think I know what I need to do. We still have the water here. The sink is totally filled with water. No, that's not it either. I thought maybe we could use the drawer to fill out the water or some shit like that, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. Oh, wait. So... The only thing you can manipulate in this room is the string. Chances are they made this puzzle so someone would trigger it by accident. Uh-huh. There we go. There's water inside now. I'm smart. Let's go. I remembered. So we got this tile, and it's got these red, blue, and gray lines. What does that stuff mean? Well, if I know, I think that you basically need to put it in Lotus's room. Junpei put the wet tile into his pocket. He was about to turn away when there was a noise behind him. He spun around to see Seven kneeling on the floor. His face was rigid and pale. Droplets of sweat covered his forehead. Hey, what's going on? You okay, man? He was concerned. He'd never seen Seven like this before. Slowly, the other man lifted himself to his feet on shaky legs. Yeah, I'm fine. You sure about that, buddy? I just got a little dizzy, that's all. His face was pale and his breathing was heavy. Sweat was pouring down off his face and staining his shirt. He was many things, but fine was not one of them. Are you sure? You don't look so good. Seven didn't answer. Half of his face was twisted as if distorted by extreme pain, and his eyes were glazed. Finally, he spoke. What am I doing here? His words made no sense. What are you talking about? We opened the number 2 door and walked in here. Don't tell me you forgot. No, that's not what I meant. He shook his head several times as if trying to clear something from it. It ain't much, but I think some of my memories came back. I think I've been here before. Huh? I said I've been in this room before. Maybe he's... Chad, I think he's having a... Man, what's his name? What is the name of, like, the Squid Game guy? He's having an I played these games before moments. You were here? When? Why? Aoi, light, Nona. Suddenly, Seven was mumbling something to himself. They were words Junpei didn't understand. Seven's hoarse voice trailed off, and Junpei couldn't make out what he said. When the hell was that? Seven's brow furrowed furiously, and he ground his teeth back and forth. It's right here. I feel like I'm this close to remembering everything, but I just can't. Seven stopped, frustrated. He pulled his hat off and ran through his hair. Then suddenly he looked up, his eyes wide. That's right! An experiment! There was some kind of experiment going on this ship! Experiment? What sort of experiment? They were trying to control people, or something like that. Junpei didn't know what to make of Seven's stories. Instead, he simply stared as Seven continued. Aoi, Light, and Nona. those were their names. Well, some of them. The kids that were there in the experiment, I mean. I think they were 4 or 5 more, but I don't remember all their names. Yeah, that's right. That's why I'm here. Seven began to mumble to himself and wander aimlessly around the room. He looked confused. So far as Junpei could tell, the man was simply rambling, and there were odd twitches to his movements. Experiment. Fatal pharmaceutical. Those kidnapped kids. Was I working on the case? Seven continued to mumble to himself about things that meant nothing to Junpei. Junpei didn't have any answers for him, of course. He couldn't understand what was happening to Seven. All he could do was wait. After a few minutes, Seven finally stopped. He crouched down and looked under the bed. His face registered mild surprise and began to mumble to himself again. The wall's gone. Oh, maybe it was a different room. There's gotta be a ton of rooms on our boat, but look at just like that one. At last, Junpei could contain himself no longer. Hey, what exactly do you remember? Well, maybe you could stop talking like a crazy person telling what's going on here. Seven stood up slowly. No, it's not like I really remember everything. I've only got bits and pieces and they're scattered and don't make much sense. I don't care. Tell me the bits and pieces then. Junpei could feel it. Whatever Seven has remembered. It was important. Very important. Seven drew a large muscled hand down across his face. As he wiped the sweat from his brow, he spoke. From what I can remember, I think I was a cop. A cop? Yeah. Chat, do you guys think Seven could solve the Kira cases? I'm gonna let you guys ask it around based on your impressions. I was looking for that group of kids that got kidnapped 9 years ago. Remember that, right? It was all over the news. R.I.P. your favorite character is a cop. Unfortunately. Yeah. Still in school. I don't remember all the details, but I do remember some of it. I think it was a bunch of kids right around my age. They all just disappeared. Nobody knew why. It was all over TV and newspapers every day. Even more crazy since Santa is the Dick. Yeah, and Dick is also the detective. Is also a word for detective. I learned that from Ace Attorney. Yeah, that's what it looks like. And yes, I found something. It was a medical company called Cradle Pharmaceutical that had something to do with those kids. After I figured that out, I managed to get some information out of somebody who worked for them. They told me a ship would be leaving that night with all the kids on it. They were gonna be taken to some kind of big passenger ship somewhere out in the ocean. And so, Seven headed to the wharf. He kept to the shadows before long, found a suspicious ship he's been looking for. There were a number of human shapes moving near the ship. They were men in black suits. Many of them were carrying large bags onto the ship. The bags. There was something about the way they moved them as they were carried. There could be no mistake, there were human beings in those bags. He had moved before he realized what he was going to do. Out of the shadows he came, his gun already in his hand. He heard the voices, the words don't move, but they weren't his. He felt the metal touch in the back of his head. Drop your gun, said the cold voice from behind him. With the words, he felt a cold metal thing behind him press against his skull. Slowly, Seven crouched down and laid his gun on the ground. Then suddenly, he felt a sharp pain in his neck. A needle. Was it some kind of drug? I mean, it would make sense. A pharmaceutical company would use drugs to silence the victims. As he was thinking about that, Seven felt his face hit the cold concrete beneath him. He could feel the chill of it seeping into him. Ugh, damn it. Shit, my head hurts. Seven woke to find himself lying on a hard floor. He twisted his neck to peer around the room. Where am I? There was a small, shabby bed and a dirty sink. You know, he kind of gives me the vibes of a Yakuza protagonist or a supporting character with the gaudy orange jacket. A toilet with no stall or privacy of any sort. As a cop, it was a place Seven had seen all too often. I'm in a cell, huh? Opposite of the toilet was a door set into the wall. Seven struggled to his feet and hobbled toward it. He gave the door a good shove, then another, then tried pulling it. It didn't open. Well, that was about what he'd expected. It wasn't like somebody would put him in a cell only to leave him unlocked. He threw himself against the door a few times, but to no avail. I knew it. Seville grumbled to himself as he moved back towards the bed. He sat down. He sat there for a very long time. Just how long, he wasn't sure. At last, he began to nod off, and had nearly fallen asleep when he roused by a distant voice. There's over! It's 9! His voice was far away, very far away. Seven couldn't understand what it was saying. Nonetheless, it was a voice, and a high one, most likely a child. His eyes shot open. Oh, here! Okay! He listened. He could pick out several different, distinct voices. There were at least 5 or 6, possibly more. Where were the voices coming from? He looked around the room fanatically. Perhaps the door. No, that wasn't it. What? Go out. Was it coming from the left? Was it coming from under the bed? He grabbed the bed and flipped it up with ease. There it was. There was a hole for ventilation in the wall where the bed had been, covered with a metal grate. Seven lay down on his stomach and peered through the grate. He couldn't see anything, it was too dark. Now that he found it, however, there could be no doubt. This was the source of the voices. For a moment he was confused. Why were there children nearby? Then he remembered all what the man from Cradle Pharmaceutical told him. How a ship would take the kidnapped children from the wharf to a waiting passenger liner out in the ocean. When was Seven on that passenger liner? It didn't matter. What mattered was that he would find a way to the children. Seven looked at the metal grate. Could he fit through that hole? He stuck fingers through the grate and grabbed a hold of it. Yeah, how'd you like that, you son of a bitch? Seven, there are children on the ship. How dare you? The dark square sat open before him. Seven wiped the sweat from his forehead and crawled inside. You know, I hate being cinema Cincy, but apparently it's real life air vents are very impractical. You can't really crawl or sneak through air vents 99% of the time. They're very cramped and also extremely dirty, and the tunnels aren't very stable. But you know, that doesn't matter. I recently found out that air ducts are just very impossible to go through. Junpei waited for Seven to resume his story. The longer he waited, however, the clearer it became that Seven had no intention of doing so. He had gone silent and simply stared off through the air, his eyes blank. Well, this is the old Titanic liner air vent, and maybe the vents are longer, who knows. Again, it's a piece of fiction, it doesn't have to be reality. Hey, what happened after that? He'd waited long enough, but Seven shook his head. I don't remember what happened after that. But I think I found some kind of door out of the duct. And I think I found some kids too. Oh man, why can't I remember what happened next? Oh man, what happened to the kids, Seven? Did you save them? I don't know if it was me. I've got this feeling. I think one of the kids died. A girl, I think. Huh? Deep in his heart, Junpei felt something very cold. Seven's head dropped, and Junpei saw in it a look of sadness, the likes of which he has never seen on the man before. The large man's eyes blinked rapidly, as if he were fighting back tears, and he swallowed hard. His sigh was like the melancholy setting of an old abandoned building. He shook his head and spoke. Anyway, just please don't ask me anymore, okay? I really don't remember anything else. After that, Junpei could hardly try to force any answers out of the other man. There was nothing he could do. Instead, Junpei returned his mind to trying to make sense of what Seven had told him. The children who had been kidnapped 9 years before. Apparently, a company called Cradle Pharmaceutical has been behind the kidnappings and had taken the children to the ship they were on now. They had been brought to the ship for an experiment. Something to do with controlling human beings, Seven had said. The 16 children who had been kidnapped were the subjects for the experiment. Seven said that 3 of their names were Aoi, Light, and Nona. That was new information. He had also learned that Seven was, or had been, a police officer. Still, there was little he could do with that new information. He learned nothing about the nonary game or Zero. He had no idea why they'd been brought to the ship that had been the site of those experiments 9 years before. Junpei couldn't forget what Seven had the purpose of the experiment had been. To control human beings. Could such an absurd experiment really have been conducted? Before long, Junpei realized he'd spent quite some time deep in thought. No time for that, he chided himself. He had work to do. Junpei shook his head quickly to clear it, and returned to his investigation, thoughts swirling in his mind. Yep, so we have this tile. I guess we can return back to Lotus's room. And put the tile here. Is the drain clogged? Looks like a lot of the water isn't draining out of the sink. No, it doesn't seem like it works. Well, it looks like turning the knob did the trick. The sink's filling up with water. Man, the cutscene was so long I forgot what I need to do next. My bad. The towel has a weird design on it. What could it mean? What could the design say? Yeah, I think I'm missing some clues in here. Just not sure which. Junpei? What's the book behind this drawer? Don't ask me. Oh, don't boys love those sort of things? Just figured you'd know. What did you mean, Lotus? What the fuck, lady? Have you taken a closer look at this tile, Junpei? I noticed the 3 red lines are actually on top of the other lines. The red lines. Yes. Maybe. Oh! Maybe we need to flip those emergence tiles we found at tile 0 at the same size. When I touched the tiles on the floor, I felt something weird. Huh? I can move these tiles. And that means... if we swap the tiles we got and go those tiles on the wall, something will happen. I suppose now we just need to figure out what the strange designs on these tiles mean. At any rate, we should look for all the tiles that look for all the tiles that are the same size. You're right. Let's meet back here after we've done thorough search. Okay. Okay, so we still need to look for those. There's a door in the back. I wonder where it goes. I thought I've done tried a couple of things, but yeah, same result. I guess 7 wasn't about to do anything as well. Maybe we need to put this here? Look at the hallway ceiling. Ah. Yeah. It's a ceiling. I've seen lots of ceiling in my time, but I'd say this one rates about a 3.5. Is it because it's a ceiling? I've seen lots of ceilings. I'd say this one's rates about 3. Maybe there's something else on the ceiling? Ceiling. So that's the ceiling, huh? I wonder if it's sealing us in. I mean, okay. I just wanted to show funny dialogue. That's the hallway. Yeah, that was funny. I needed to. Junpei is such a dork. I swear to, like, he really is. Maybe I need to put the other drawer over here. I already took the drawer out of this desk. Nope, doesn't seem like there's anything we can do here. This thing is solely filled with... Hold on. The bed looks cold. It's got a single 3 vertex. Oh, I thought maybe if I put it somewhere, like the weird... The drawing on the mirror is just like part of the image on the towel. The towel has a river and a spring, doesn't it? This mirror has a river on it. It's indicating a sink, then. Yeah, I know. It's like... Yes! Now I can pull on it. Huh? Doesn't matter how many times I pull on it, there's no flush. I feel like an idiot. This is a bunch of time because I was determined to flush a toilet. It won't flush when you pull on the string. It's a dirty toilet, but it's too dark to tell. Was it something I'm carrying with me? Hold on. It is a 14! Holy crap! What? It says 14E. I've got a feeling it's relevant somehow. This says 14! Ah, shit! But I guess it shows me is the pipe. Have you checked the string where you got the handle from? Oh, I have not. Let's yeah, again, this puzzle, I think that like these puzzles are a little more challenging. It looks like a toilet, pretty old school toilet. I guess that makes sense though. The ship is pretty old too. Yeah, that's right. Must have got a number hidden there too. I think maybe the number... Ah! okay. That's a good, that's some good, that's actually not a bad idea. Did I write the, I think I wrote it down. So, the sun toilet needs to be flushed 4 times. I guess I should just keep pulling on this thing. Alright, there it goes. Second pull. Third pull. Fourth pull. And then something should happen. Yeah, okay, hey, explode things. I did, but it doesn't look like there's something happening here. I wonder what that sound was. Looks like the water bubbled through the drain and put... I'm solving a puzzle with toilets is what I'm doing right now. Hopefully my hint no, it's fine. It's fine. I don't want to sit... I didn't connect the dots, unfortunately. And this is the moon toilet. Moon toilet needs 7 times. 2... 3... 4... 5... 6... 7... Yep! There's that sound again. It happens whenever I pull that string a couple of times. Junpei, did you hear something from the other room? The other room, you mean from the dark room? Ah, it must be the, you know, the thing. It's not the sink, it's the drawer. Well, the drawer opens easily enough. So we have 14. We have 2 more 14 tiles. 3 14 tiles, huh? Is this all the tiles we need? Looks like we should use the tiles here. But there are still rooms we haven't been checked yet. I'll come back here once I've done that. There's more rooms? Are there? Maybe I need to take the drawer out as well. Hold on. There's nothing left in this desk. Nope. Literally nothing. I am definitely missing something out here. It's just... I haven't finished the sink tile. For this place? No, I haven't. Or maybe I need to put this... Ugh. Okay, so the game is telling me we got what we wanted from that place. And this toilet won't flush. Yeah, we still haven't done the sink tile. Did he get a tile from I have 3 tiles. I don't know how many I need. I found with the 3 colored lines on it, right? Jinpei, did he notice this? Red lines. Don't they look like they form 14? Maybe I need to combine both. Maybe I need to combine the drawers? No, I do not. 4, but I'm trying to remember where your first one came from. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm a little stumped, chat. Like, I feel like there's something I've yet to investigate here, but I'm just not sure. It's either the drawer or the sink, depending on where you get the first trial. I mean, there's no handle here. We still need to figure out where this fits. Maybe that's what we're missing. We need to find out where the shoe fit. Where the bump is at. Wait. Hold on. No. Okay, I'm drawing a blank. The white toilet paper is bioluminescent. Man, this puzzle is really hard. Oh, I needed to sound like something falling. What was that? I heard it too. Let's open the door. Okay, we got it. I just forgot that there was a bump in there. I should have checked it. Yeah, it was the drawer. I forgore. But it seems like we got all the tiles. Okay, well, it looks like we've investigated all the rooms. The only mystery left is that door. Alright, all the E's. It's... Alright, let's crack the mystery then. We've got 4 tiles. And there's a bunch of tiles that are the same size up in the wall here. So we replace all the tiles on the wall with the ones we've got. Yeah, 14 equals E after all, that's true. That should open the door. Well, there's only one way to find out. Equals 14. I don't know what I was doing. How do I solve this one? Junpei, calm down. You just have to replace 4 tiles. Yeah, you're right. It's just 4 tiles. What do you think? Oh! Wow, no way. I just needed to replace the E's. Wow, I overthought it. Hey, did you hear something unlock? Does that mean we got it right? Yes, looks like we did. The 14 hidden in the tile. If you convert it to a hexadecimal, it's an E. Basically the E's. Origins are all 14s from the tiles. To replace it, it gives us a non-answer. Do you really care why it worked? Let's just get out of here. Yes, let's go. And on to the next one. They passed through the open door and headed to the next room. Junpei jogged down the short staircase and looked around. Ooh, spooky. What the hell is this place? The words of strong unbidden from his lips, but it was clear why. Junpei shivered. Lotus and Seven reached the bottom of the stairs and stopped short, terrified. The room is really creepy. I think we ought to get the hell out of here now. He jogged through the stairs to the opposite side of the room and shook the door on the wall next to the catwalk. It didn't open, and he muttered to himself. Figures. It's locked, isn't it? Yep, I don't know why I thought this wouldn't be any different. Junpei looked around the room again. In the center of it was a chair. The back of it was covered with electrodes, covered to the nest of wires. Beneath it was a strange glass panel. Junpei wasn't sure what it was, but it made him uncomfortable. Whatever might be beyond the glass, Junpei couldn't tell. It was too dark. Junpei turned to look at the right side of the room. There was a table covered with a piece of cloth. Parts of the cloth were stained with something that looked suspiciously like blood. On top of the table were a number of metal instruments. Junpei didn't know what they were for, but he had a feeling he didn't want to find out. His mind began to imagine what could have taken place in that dark, cold room. The things he imagined were not pleasant. Junpei shook his head in an attempt to clear it, and tried to focus on something else. Anyway, we don't want to stay here any longer than we got to. Let's figure out the puzzle and get the hell out of here. Come on. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. A real creepy chair. The manacles make me think it was used to torture people. Well, we can't open those manacles without a key. There's some sort of weird symbol on him. Is there? What kind of symbol? Well, if I got this right, I think it's the sun symbol. It's a little hard to see from my graphics, but I'll take your word for it, Junpei. There's some sort of screen. The device will conduct the experiment. Once the experiment has been completed, the door will unlock. First, adjust the switches to match the blocks in the sample above. Huh? I don't know what this thing is, but we gotta figure out this puzzle. It's right next to the torture chair. Whatever it is, I don't think it's good. Anyway, we just gotta adjust the switches to match the blocks on top, right? You adjust the switches shown at the four corners of the screen, and then press the check button. Junpei, we don't know what this thing does. You can always come back to it later. There are lots of other things you can do. Ah, it's one of those. I think we did it. Easy. Adjustment completed. Now proceeding to execution phase. To complete the experiment, data must be collected from the subject. Once preparation is finished, place the subject in his chair. Whoa, I thought we solved the puzzle already. What does it mean by preparation? I don't know. I've got a bad feeling about this. I think this means one of us gotta sit down in the chair. Well, Seven's never gonna fit in that thing. It's either you or me, Junpei. Collecting data. I wonder if it's going to run electricity through the subject. There's a human head on the screen. It's gonna zap the brain with a little electricity. This really doesn't sound safe. Anyway, we still gotta prepare. We can talk about this after we figure out what it means by preparation, alright? Well, it wants us to prepare, but we ought to ask it what we need to do. There, the disposal tank is closed. Please fill the tank with water. What tank? Oh man, don't tell me you gotta do something with the water tank. Well, there's probably something around here to open the tank or whatever it's asking us to do. Looks like the only controls are in this room. Okay. Let's do it. It's a wrench. The wrench looks brand new. Considering we found it, I have to wonder how it was used. Knock it off. I don't want to think about that. You've already seen plenty of things that are way more cruel than that. You're unexpectedly sensitive. Come on, let's not talk about this stuff that doesn't matter, okay? Yeah, just a reminder, chat. Almost 2 hours ago, Junpei saw a man, like a guy he knew, and his body was exploded. We need to find somewhere where we can use this thing. The first 3 torture tools are lined up in here. I don't think there's anything else we need. Of course, the entrance is locked. Did he know Snake? Junpei? I mean, in this route, he knew him. I mean, you didn't do any rooms with him in this one. Yeah, we didn't. But like a guy he knew for like an hour, and he seen for an hour or so. But like, yeah, he saw a guy. He saw 2 exploded bodies. It's been like this in every room we've been in. What do you expect? There's no point to try and go back. Let's just think about going forward, alright? Okie doodle. The cover's bolted all in pretty good. Oh, they're pretty good. Should be able to get those bolts off with the wrench we just found, though. Sweet, it's open. The hole's too small. We can't see in even with the cover off. Well, you can see in, but I think there's enough room to stick your arm in. Are you sure you want to do that? There could be something dangerous in there. Okay, I admit that scares me a little, but we need to see if there's anything useful in there. Maybe if we fill the water tank, we'll know. These stairs go to the exit. Okay, we don't know what's going on there yet. What's wrong, Junpei? What are you doing to the floor? Well, I thought maybe if I got down here I could see the glass. It's not working, though. You don't think it's just a large sheet of glass they put into an indentation? I don't know. I mean, why would they do that? The placement of this chair. You're not making sense, Junpei. What's your point? Oh, don't you think there's something under the glass? Any other place I didn't check yet? I mean, we don't know where you can fill water yet. There's a bunch of pipes near the ceiling. I don't think there's gonna be a puzzle up there, at least I hope not. We can't even reach them. Short set of stairs that go to the exit. Alright, here we go. Arm in the hole. Hey, I think I can feel something. Small, cold, and hard. Doesn't feel like there's anything else in there. Alright, let's see what this thing is. It's the sun key. Okay. Key with the sun symbol on it. We should be able to open the other door with this. Yeah, but we gotta get out of this room before we can do that. And we probably need the sun key to do that. None of the door in the room have keyholes. But we gotta use it on something that's not a door. I think we need to use it on the machine, don't we? The sun key should fit into the keyhole in those manacles. Alright, sun key, and here you go. And yes! Great, they're open. I don't think we're gonna need the sun key again in here, though. Just seems unlikely. Alright, sun key, you've done your job. Into my pocket with you. Three levers have got to turn something on. Of course they would. All they could do is turn something on or off. What's important is what they turn on or off. Don't say the floor is going to suddenly open up. I can see some oil or something down there on the base of the lever. Yeah, it feels like it got some movement in it. I should be able to pull this one. Alright, let's pull the lever. Is that water? What the hell? What's going on? You calm down? It's just water going somewhere. What are you doing, Seven? It's just water. It sounds like it's underneath us. What is this for? Oh! Junpei, look! Oh damn. She can see. I can see through the glass now. EDBF. And there's a shark. There are a couple of letters on this, on the shark's belly. More hexadecimals. It's that. Looks like the letters are E, D, B, and F. Whatever they are have to be for this room somewhere. I mean, we see it now. There's a bunch of buttons here on the letters A through F in them. Let's push some of them. There you go. So you press it again. Back you came! I guess these buttons switch something on or off if you push them. Probably shouldn't mess with any more. You never know what might happen. E, D, B, F. What? There's a strange noise coming from the chair. It looks like it's been turned on. I guess the puzzle here was the power that had to be sent in a specific way. All the dials are pointing in different directions. Maybe something will happen if we turn them. Ha! Shit, they're all rusted. Just turning them doesn't do anything. If that's the case, then we better look at what's going on here. And then we got another cutscene. The restraining device is unlocked. Please see subject and device. The message on the screen was disturbingly detached. Well, like you thought, it's not gonna work unless someone sits in it. How ironic that this would be the situation in which the slim, beautiful body is useful. Lotus, are you sure? I can sit in it, and you can solve... Junpei's right. We screw it up. Seven couldn't bring himself to finish the thought. His eyes fell on the floor. Junpei followed them. Beneath them was a dead shark, floating underneath a glass. Perhaps it had been killed by the electric shock. I forgot about the dead shark, by the way. I'll be fine. Even if I fail in, the shark was... Even if I fall in, the shark is already dead. But... No one likes an indecisive man, Junpei. I can still give you advice from the chair, too. You know? Zero is unforgivable. Yeah, Zero killed a shark for this stupid puzzle. How dare he? I mean, he also made 2 men explode. So yeah, there is definitely blood on his heart, on his hands, both cold and warm blood. I just don't want to stay in this room any longer than we have to. Go over to that screen, let's get this over with. After her words and make it clear that Lotus would book no argument. I can excuse murder, but I draw the line at animal cruelty. Yeah. But she did not sit down. Despite what she had said, she did indeed feel hesitation. Her legs shook. Look, do you think you can do me one last favor? Don't say last. You're making me nervous. Just listen. If something happens to me, I want you to tell my daughters that I love them very much. No. Tell them that I will always love them. Daughters? You've got kids? Yes, I do. I suppose they're about your age, Junpei. They're twins. I had them when I was young, after some things happened. And I don't think we know, and I don't think we know, what things happened with Lotus. Their names were Nona and... Wait! Then why the fuck did you choose to sacrifice yourself? Nona! Junpei's words shot out before he even realized what he was saying. He remembered a story Seven had told him. Aoi, Light, and Nona. Those were their names. Well, some of them. We kinda do, though. It was beta info, so it's unknown if it's still canon. Was it beta info? I'm guessing I can find it in the wiki. You can DM it to me if you want. But only me. The kids were there. The experiment, I mean. What the hell? What's wrong with you? Lotus took a step back from Junpei. Seven looked just as shocked as Junpei. He blinked his eyes rapidly, as if he weren't sure if he was completely awake. No way, it couldn't. Lotus, is your last name Kashiwabara? Lotus's eyes went wide. How did you know that? Are you serious? What the hell is this? There's no way you're that kid's mom. That kid? What do you mean, that kid? Why are you acting like you've met her? Seven's brows furrowed. I see I got the DMs. Oh, that's spicy. That's super spicy. That explains some things about their behavior, but it's ambiguous. I have. What? Yeah, I met one of your kids. When? 9 years ago. Where? On this ship. Why were you? It's not a short story. I don't care how long it is. Tell me, please. What happened here? Seven glances at Junpei and turned back to Lotus and began to speak. It was the same story Junpei has heard only minutes before. Every detail. Yep, same cutscenes. At last, Seven finished. Lotus shook her head. Everything I've been looking for the last 9 years. The person who had all the answers was right here. Looking for... Yes, that's right. 9 years ago, my daughters disappeared. And 9 days later, they came back. They never told me what happened there. What happened to them over those 9 days. I took them to the doctor, but I was told they hadn't been hurt anyway. Still, I was sure they'd been through something terrible. I couldn't bring myself to force them to talk about it. Lotus, yeah, she is a good mom. I mean, we actually know, apparently he was mentioned in, there is also another, page about him, but we don't know if it's true or not. What are the sources? Yeah, sorry, I'm having a bit of a under-the-table discussion. He was only mentioned in answers. Oh, it was in the Q&A Uchikoshi gave, I see. I didn't have any choice. I had to try to ignore it and move on. A few months passed. Gradually, they started to act like they always had been before they disappeared. He smiled and made jokes and did all the things that kids do. Clearly traumatized kids. Doesn't force them to relive the trauma. Yeah, that's really nice of her. It's also, it got harder and harder for me to ask them what happened. How could I ask them to remember that? Eventually, I knew there'd be no way I could do it. But I'm still a mother. I couldn't simply forget something terrible that happened to them. to my children. So I decided I would investigate what happened on my own. And find out what happened during those 9 missing days. What did you find out? What did you find out? Nothing. The police pretended to be concerned, but they didn't do anything. Yeah, they're all great. Ace is especially very nice. He took one for the team and made them continue moving despite the discovery of the body. I like Ace. Once the 16 children who gone missing came back, things were just swept under the rug. Even the media didn't talk about what had happened. I figured something that was probably paying or threatening to keep their mouths shut. Cradle Pharmaceutical. You know, probably something even bigger than that. Cradle Pharmaceutical. Have you heard of them before? No, that's the first time I've heard of that name. You could have tried to say that with a straight face, Hailed. Yeah, but I'm not a straight person. I don't know about that. 7, how did you find out that Cradle Pharmaceutical was connected to the kidnapping in the first place? I figured out finding out whatever the victims had in common would lead me to the culprit. That's what any good cop does. What did they have in common? Every single one of them kids that disappeared has gone to this one hospital at some point. The hospital was one of the bunch who were under control of Cradle Pharmaceutical. After all, it was just about connecting the dots. The hospital. The hospital. For a while, I was trying to get some kind of story out of the kids at the hospital. One of them told me a weird story. When was it? 16 boys and girls is so sad. Yeah, that's awful. Have you ever heard of the Gansfield experiment? Yeah. Since 18 went missing, no one is looking for the last 2? What? Oh, right, it's 9 people. Yeah, it is really sad. I haven't thought of it that way. Like, at the moment I was like, maybe 8, only 8 people were there, but no, that did not cross me. I mean, is it a bit of a minor spoiler to say that 18 kids were kidnapped, or no? I guess all these kids had to go through it while they were in the hospital. I think it was passed off as some sort of counseling. 7 cleared his throat and proceeded to explain the Gansfield experiment. First, subjects Q and A were put in separate rooms, far from one another. Pretty sure you know that info already, no? We know that 16 people were kidnapped, not that like 18, but it's fine. I mean, I knew that information, but I don't know if it doesn't really tell much. Don't think of it that much, chat. People who haven't really seen this in the future. Then a series of video images were shown to subject Q. The kids in the flashbacks were looking for the 9 door and you need 9 people for no reason. Yeah, okay. That's fair. You can definitely infer that. That's still in the safe zone in terms of spoilers. Then, a series of video images are shown to subject Q, who is told to send the images to subject A by thinking about them. Subject A, on the other hand, is put into a large reclining chair and given a blindfold. With their senses cut off, A is asked to guess what images Q are they looking at. Oh yes, I've heard of that. It's a famous telepathy experiment, isn't it? Telepathy. Junpei rolled the word over in his mind. That's how the experiment on the ship was supposed to work. Yeah, we can say that. Just why did they only say 16 kids and only 9 if the nonary game and the experiment required 9? An experiment to control people, right? Yeah. I don't know if any of the telepathy stuff really exists. But maybe someone from Cradle Pharmaceutical bought into it. Lotus grunted. Seven has been thinking hard for the last several minutes and finally spoke. By the way, for those curious, some of the names, like the code names, have been localized. Like Lotus in the Japanese is called Yashiro, I think, which I also think is still Lotus. And Murasaki is her code name, I think. In that. Even if that's the case, I still don't get how anything has to do with any of this. Nonary Gang Zero. Why were we all kidnapped? What does any of this have to do with telepathy? I know I brought all this up, but I have no idea. Maybe none of this stuff is connected after all. Then in that moment of silence, a cold voice echoed from the ceiling. No subject has been detected. Unless a subject is detected with 60 seconds, all power will be shut down. System recovery is estimated to take 1 hour. If you wish to proceed with the experiment, please seat the subject in the restraining device. Whoa, that doesn't sound good. Yeah. Okay, I'm going. Oh no, that's not what we... Just hurry up and get it over with. Junpei, I'm counting on you. You know, this is what I like. I really like how this route humanizes Lotus, because, again, she's already relatively humanized, but she's also very pragmatic and cold. At least she was in the last stream, and in this one you find out a little more about her. Right. Lotus sat down on the chair. Junpei looked at her one last time, then made his way to the monitor. Lotus, please tell me right away if you feel anything weird. Don't you worry too much. Now get on with it and be a man, or June's gonna leave you. She's shipping him. She and Seven are just shipping them so hard. Yeah, they do. They do bring out the best of each other. In my humble opinion, Junpei, Seven, and Lotus triumph. Like, they trump Junpei and June any day of the week. That's the real OTP. Probably like the bet. Like, that's the OTP in my opinion. Yeah, I really like them. I think, I mean, I always thought they were cute together, but like, again, my relationship with like ships has mellowed out with age. I like some ships and sometimes I draw them, but like, it doesn't really consume, it's not like the main thing that consumes me. Huh? Yeah, Lara Yeti was just checking up on me. Lotus was putting on her best act that she could manage, but her legs were shaking so much. That she hadn't been sitting. She likely would have fallen down Failure was not acceptable. Junpei took one last deep breath and stared at the monitor. Okay, seems like we need to readjust the puzzles, I think. Oh, I see. We need to adjust the arrows? Yeah, we do. Did anything happen to this? Ah! So if I trigger this, it triggers that. So basically we need to understand which switches need to be off and on. Okay, we're... okay, but this is wrong. No, I actually need this to be active. 1, 2, 3, but this isn't active and this needs to be active. So this way we figured this one out. However, is this it? I think it is. No, it's not! Unless... I see we're getting some extra analyses here. How does this puzzle work again? Let's see. Any hints? Calm down, Junpei. Just look at it carefully, alright? First off, the number of blocks ain't gonna change. All that's gonna change is the shape. Like in the first game, you gotta match your pointy blocks. The ones on top, you know how to figure out how many blocks change with each switch? Yeah, turn on everything off and then just do one switch at a time. Close enough. You just gotta pay attention to how many blocks change. Alright, Junpei, looks like you've got a matched number of pointy blocks. Yeah, but like... So this activates 3, and the second option activates 2 of them. This activates 1. activates one. No, it turns off too many blocks, I think. This one is correct, though. This one, on the other hand, is not. Is there any logic here? Just keep it simple. This is just like the last one you did. Okay, well, it is pretty close. For instance, when the one on the switch is on, how many blocks does it turn 20? Let's just say 2 of them do, okay? If you press 2 on the other switch, 3 of them turn 20. Using those 2 switches, you made 5 blocks pointy. Makes sense? That's how you gotta solve it. Yeah, you're right. It's just more an addition. Okay, let's turn all of them off again. Okay, you turned it off for me again. Nice. So this turned on 3 blocks. One top is right. It activates 3 blocks. And the 2 and 2 top, well, it activates only 2 of them. This one, it's only 1. And 2 activates 2. Which means the left it's also, I mean, it also activates, oh my god, I feel like my brain is frying in real time, chat. It's 2 and 3. Wait, I think I got it. No, I didn't. Why? Seven, you're being so nice to me. Do you plan on streaming VLR and Zero Time Dilemma in the future, by the way? Yeah, sure. I would like, I think that Zero Time Dilemma is definitely gonna be an interesting revisit. Same goes for VLR. For Lure. Yeah, I see all the DMs. The bottom one is 1. And the 2 is 2. My Zero Escape Brain Rot never leaves you, but 999 you and 999 week of course have healed it. Yay! That's how Roman empires work. Do people still use the term Roman empires? And 2 is 2. And in the right, this is yeah, that's nice. Oh, so that's what it oh, I see. And left is in the top, in the bottom. Bottom is nothing. And 2 is 2. So in the top, it's 1 equals 2. And 2 equals question mark. It's 3. And then here it's also 3 on the other side. My brain, my brain. God damn it, it's so hard to keep track of everything. You told me to begin from the left. Why? Ah! 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 Yeah, because it's wrong on the other side. I'm just gonna brute force all my possible combinations. I'm sick of this shit. So we can have 1, 1, 1, 1. 2, 2, 2, 2. We can also have 0. I just... Okay, I did it. I'll take it. I'll take it. It's okay. The experiment has concluded. The door will now unlock. I can hear the door unlocking. Wow, that was torture. Never make me solve a puzzle ever again. I can hear the door unlocking. Now we've got a new message.
Release subject from a straining device.
Otis, are you alright? Yes, I am. I'm glad nothing bad happened, but I do think my life just got a little shorter. Hold on, I'll get you out right away. It shouldn't take long for Seven and me and get her out of here. Let's get out of here now. Eating Guinea Pig is not for me. Damn straight. I don't even want to see this thing again. Okay, the screen says door unlocked. We did it. We did it, Patrick. We saved the city. Outside of the room, a hallway led off to their left. With nowhere else to go, they started down it. It turned left twice before they saw the elevator. In silence, they jogged to it. So, you're not getting safe ending. I don't think there's anything safe about this ending, no. Oh, I meant in general? I mean, of course I'm gonna... I think that, like, getting the safe ending is mandatory for the true ending. In silence, we jogged up to it. Junpei pushed the C button. The elevator motor ground away, and the Before long, they found themselves once again in C deck. The door opened and they stepped off. They had expected to find 4 other people waiting for them. Where did I go? I have no idea. Lotus shrugged. Something in the pit of Junpei's stomach stirred. He tried to forget the feeling and took off the long hallway before him. 7 and Lotus followed at a run. They ran and ran and ran. The hallway seemed endless. Their destination has already been decided, the door beneath the central staircase. There was a sun symbol engraved on the keyhole of that door, and Junpei had the sun key in his pocket. That key would open the door. It had to. That was why they ran for the central staircase. They had to run for quite some while when they arrived at the door that ended in the hallway. Junpei stopped. He laid his hand on the doorknob, his breathing heavy. 7 laid a hand on his arm. Hold on a sec there. Huh? We don't have the key for this one yet, right? There is a Jupiter symbol engraved over the keyhole. Someone was right, they had no Jupiter key. But we can't open this door. Unfortunately, no, we can't. Jeez, Sun's door's gotta be just the other side of this, you know? Frustrated, I twisted the door knob. The door opened. Hey! It opened! What? The others must have found the Jupiter key. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's see. The others are Akane, Santa. So it's 1 plus 3 plus 6 plus 4. So it's... They went... But they only opened the 5 doors. Something is, No, I mean in general. Ace and Clover. Yeah. Gamer... Okay. The door opened. As he spoke, he shoved the door to the rest of the way open. They rushed through and stopped cold. The terrible scene before them made their blood run cold. 3 people lay dead on the floor, covered in blood. Junpei felt a cold sweat trickle down his spine. He couldn't breathe. His legs shook. His body felt cold, deathly cold, but his blood was boiling hot. He could feel his mind begin to fade. He couldn't think. He couldn't concentrate. His mind was blank. What the hell? What the hell happened? Seven's voice was weak and broken. He edged towards the bodies and movements stiff. He bent down over Clover and pressed his fingers to her wrist. Nothing, she said. Suddenly Lotus moved. Before he understood what happened, her hand was in Junpei's vest pocket. Hey, what are you doing? He leapt back. Lotus looked at him, terrified. The key! Give me the sun key! Why? Why do you think? We have to get out of here before the murderer comes back! The murderer? The murderer. Once again, Junpei looked at the dead bodies. Santa, Clover, and Ace. That meant the person who had killed him was... No, it couldn't be true. Before Junpei could react, Lotus dove it back into his pocket and came out with the key. Let's go! Without waiting for Seven or Junpei, she ran straight for the central staircase. They followed. Junpei shut his eyes and swallowed his emotions. Morning would have to wait. Soon they stood in front of the door. Lotus shoved the sun key through the keyhole and twisted it hard. But... What happened?
Nothing. Nothing happened. I didn't feel it unlock.
Oh no. Is it the wrong key?
I don't know. Maybe.
Lotus sighed defeated and leaned against the doorknob. She felt it twist. A small gap appeared between the door and the frame. What the hell is this?
The door was already unlocked.
Why?
How could I know that? Whatever, let's just go.
Lotus took a deep breath and slowly opened the door to the rest of the hall. They stepped inside. In front of them was another hallway. It stretched out towards the bow of the ship. They began to run. Faster and faster they ran, trying desperately to reach to the end of the hallway. A few seconds later, they were there. In front of them stood a massive metal door. They were breathing heavily as Junpei spoke.
What the hell is this door? I can't see anything that looks like a doorknob or a switch or a lever or a card reader or anything. How the fuck are we supposed to open this?
We don't have a choice. We're gonna have to go back.
No, no! I'm not going back there! There's a murderer back there!
There was more stark terror in Lotus's voice than authority. She was almost begging. But I don't see any other doors. As he spoke, Seven stepped towards the door in front of them, as if to illustrate that it was the only door. It opened. Nothing surprising. A simple automatic door. Look guys, I've got a really bad feeling about all this. The other doors were already unlocked and this one's automatic. We haven't seen anything like this before. How could their situation possibly get worse? 3 people were already dead. They'd hit the bottom, Junpei told himself. There's nowhere to go but up. He stepped through the door. And wherever hope Junpei had managed to summon disappeared. No. No, 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 no. It wasn't true. It couldn't be true. It's impossible. Utterly impossible. It was a dream. It had to be a dream, a nightmare. 5 actually, Junpei, but go off again. He's kind of panicked right now. Let him have it. Yes, it was a nightmare. If he could just wake up. He was seeing things. Yes, that was it. That was an hallucination. A lie. It wasn't real. It wasn't real. It wasn't real, right? June. No. No! The code names meant nothing now! Connie! 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 Junpei cried out and leapt through the door. He flew to her side, his heart like a stone in his chest. Connie! Connie! Hang on! June swept up and shook her by the shoulder. She moaned, her eyes fluttered open, but only barely. Connie! Junpei? Her face was pale, and her lips were dry and cracked. R.I.P. best girl, yeah. Her eyes were blank and cloudy. They stared straight at Junpei but saw nothing. Junpei put his hand against the small of her back to hold her up. It felt warm and wet. He lifted her hand up. It was covered in blood. Oh man. Oh man. Connie. What the hell happened to you? How did this happen? It was all he was able to do not to break into tears.
Junpei, I'm sorry.
Her voice was thin, a minuscule thread that was the only thing keeping her with him.
I might not make it.
No way! No way I'm gonna let you die! I'm gonna save you, I promise!
Thank you, Junpei. Thank you so much for everything. I was really happy to see you again, Junpei. Really.
Don't give me that I was crap. You're gonna see me again lots and lots more times. You just gotta hang on, alright, Connie? What could he do? He looked up for Connie, desperate for something, anything. Then he saw it. A small submarine. A submarine? What on earth was a submarine doing here? No, that didn't matter. Nothing mattered except saving Connie. That was the only thing you wanted. Junpei turned his head back to look down at her. Hang on, alright? There's a submarine over there. I'm gonna see if it works.
Don't go. Please, don't go. Please just stay with me, okay? I want to be close to you, Julie. When I...
Connie!
Julie, did you know? You meant a lot to me when we were kids. I've liked you for a long time, Junpei. A really long time.
Junpei's vision has gone blurry. It took him a moment to realize his eyes were filled with tears. He could feel a piercing point of heat deep in his heart, like a white-hot flame.
Junpei, do you remember how we hung out a lot when we were kids? We went to the pool, and to the fair. Do you remember playing snowball at the school? They're all memories I'll never forget. All those moments are treasures to me. I also want to go to a lot of other places with you. A lot more. But that won't happen now.
No, I mean, yes, it will happen. We'll go to all sorts of places, Connie. You hear me? I promise we'll go wherever you want.
Really?
Yeah, really, I swear. She said it to herself over and over, a weak smile creasing her tired face.
Junpei, I feel sleepy.
No, Connie! Don't fall asleep!
Thank you, Junpei. Thank you so much.
Her eyes were slowly closing. Junpei screamed, even as he felt his throat go hoarse. Yep. Connie! 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 Man, her nails are manicured to hell and back. Time passed. Junpei wept, curled around Connie's body. He cried and cried until there were no more tears left. When the last tear fell, Junpei was no more. His body remained, but only as an empty shell. Somewhere he heard a bell ring. It was the clock at the central staircase. Bing. 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 It rang 5 times, then faded. 5 o'clock. Quietly, gently, softly, he set Connie down on the floor. Slowly, Junpei stood. Only then did he realize that Seven and Lotus had not followed him. Where had they gone? Slowly he looked around the room. There was nothing. No sign they had ever been there. It felt as though every part of Junpei's body was made of lead. Slowly he made his way to the door he'd come through. As he approached it, it opened, sliding apart like the sound of grinding stone. Junpei passed through the gate and into the hallway. His heart rattled in his chest, an empty, lifeless thing. It had been so utterly broken that there was nothing left to feel. When he saw their bodies, he simply stared. It was a lake, a sea, of blood. 2 bodies lay on it. There was no need to check. There was no breath left in them.
His eyes lit on Lotus's wrist. Her bracelet. It was gone. He stared. It meant nothing to him. He didn't care anymore. He couldn't care anymore. Junpei's body felt numb. Part of him knew the lump of lead in his chest had once been a heart. He couldn't quite remember what it had been for. Let's see. Tears poured from his eyes. In great streams. He wasn't sure why. He gave up trying to make them stop. He turned around. The door opened again. And slowly, numbly he walked through. He kept walking when he stopped. An object set in motion. Simple inertia carried him forward. Eventually he found himself in front of the submarine. His arm reached for the hatch. And then he was floating in the water. His eyes stared down into it. He couldn't see the bottom. His back was hot. Dimly, he felt the blade of a knife in it. Who? One dead body laid behind door number 5. The body of the 9th man. Another lay in the shower room. The body of Snake. At the central staircase were 3 more. Ace, Santa, and Clover. Just outside the door were 2 corpses. Those of Seven and Lotus. And in the very room lay the body that had once been Connie. And now Junpei would join them. Who, then, had killed them all? Who? Junpei let out one last breath. Faintly, he felt the bubbles creep up the side of his face. His consciousness faded quickly, dissolving away into the cold, gentle lapping of water. Meh. Well, here's our first ending. Yeah. Well, we're gonna listen to the song and then we're going to, and then I'll say a few words before we finish the stream. Congrats, you beat the game in time for 999 week. Monday is metaphor, yeah? I mean, technically, but there's still a bit of the game we have yet to check. Okay. Yeah, there's lots of quite a bit of people, quite a few people on this game. Let's see. There's a lot of special Can I give you something to react to? In a bit. It is very cool. Yeah, one sec. I'm gonna say a few words about this and then we'll, the end. Or is it? Yeah, this is, Okay.
So as you guys saw, this is one of the endings that are possible for 999. Okay, I'm just gonna say it's a new... You have reached one ending. The game has multiple endings. In order to experience all the endings, you need to save now. Once you've saved, you can restart the game with information you've acquired in this playthrough saved. Once you begin the game again, you can skip through text you've already seen. Please simply press right on the control pad to fast forward the lines you've already read. Once you've reached lines you haven't seen or new choices, it will automatically stop. The Memories of the Escape enables you to play the stages you've completed. It is recommended to save after this to unlock the Memories of the Escape. Okay. I'm guessing the memories... So we have a new ending. It's the submarine ending. And in Memories of the Escape, it basically shows us all the different escape rooms. I am gonna be in this one, and then I'm gonna say a few words, all the while putting some music in the background. I'm also gonna put in putting on one of my favorite tracks from the game. So, we just got one of the endings for 999, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. And yeah, as you guys saw, this is one of the few endings, and unfortunately, it means we're not completely done with the game. However, I am not gonna do all the endings. I am only gonna do 3 of them, which I feel are enough for the quintessential 999 experience. Because I will say that there is one more ending, which is probably the most iconic bad ending for this game, but it does require you to unfortunately it does require you to and I'm trying to process the words in my word processor. It basically requires you to like make a few consciously wrong choices in order to get it right. I think that once we finish the game, I'm going to like show it to you. Those of you who have played the game probably know it. It's called the axe ending for no particular reason. There is another ending. It's called the knife ending, and the knife ending is pretty boring. Basically, the prerequisites for those basically, the submarine ending, you get it from 2 ways. Either you enter door 3, which streamlines you into the submarine ending, or you do either door 7 or 8 and then choose to go to the second door. That's how it works. And yeah, the knife ending is not very interesting, and you're not getting coughing ending and either in syringes in the first version. Yeah, because syringes in this version, the coughing ending is kind of lame. Like, I'm a busy woman. Does it have a knife big and through? Yeah. And knife ending is pretty boring. You just get stabbed. The end. Really not much else to it. Whoa. No way. Yeah, yes, way. You get stabbed. But you also get stabbed in this ending. So now you're asking me, okay, Hale, why did you do this ending? Well, it's because... Yeah, you also get stabbed in the sub ending, but in the knife ending, you only have a knife and no submarine. Knife ending is also the submarine ending is also special because you basically get additional escape rooms and lore that, like, you basically get additional information that you don't get, and also whatever you're gonna do, stab me. I was then shot 57 times by the fuck you guy. Yeah, we were stabbed and shot 57 times by the fuck you guy. Yeah. So yeah. What I was trying to say, pardon me, is basically the thing that's special about the submarine ending is that you get you basically get the additional backstory. Yeah, save true is the order I'm doing. You basically get 3 additional escape rooms you don't obtain in any of the other routes. In this case, it's the shower room, the confinement room, and the torture room. And you also get the additional information about 7 and 7 June and Lotus. And also some blurbs from there. So ideally what you want to do is get all the endings, but again, knife ending is boring, and with axe ending it's gonna do a lot of backtracking, which is unfortunately like one of the disadvantages of this version of the game. The shit route. It is also the shit. The sub ending is also literally the toilet route. How do you know it's the shit route? It's because you have two levels that like have you inspect toilet, like 2 levels in a row that have you inspect toilets. So yeah. That's the. You didn't. Why didn't Seventh suggest going through the vent again? Like, is like his memories? Like in his memories, is he stupid? Inspector toilet. Go gadget shit Boston. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't suggest going through the vent. Maybe they closed the vent by that time. I don't know. Maybe they moved it. There's other reasons. Maybe there are sus. Maybe 7 vented. Maybe they are amogus. So yeah, I'm doing the submarine ending, then I'm doing the safe ending, and then I'm doing the true ending. Again, so, and yeah, next stream on Monday we're going to do the safe ending, which is gonna unlock more content. And again, what I want to say before I got distracted by chat, is that 7 and Santa were your suggestions for who killed Snake. Yeah, but, well, we know that they both got killed, so what's going on there, huh? Now, I know what happened, but I'm not gonna tell you guys, who killed the Snake, because, spoilers. I'm just throwing on some theories. But, like, now that we know 7, we know he wasn't really suspicious. He didn't... But... So what's going on there? Who stabbed us? We know Lotus died and had her necklace taken, but we also didn't really check 7, did we? Maybe 7 is still sus, who knows? Yeah, okay, again, in the remaster, you basically have the ability to jump between things, but in the DS, you don't have a timeline to jump in between. So you basically have to replay the entire visual novel again, but you do have the ability to go fast forward, but it is tedious. So that's also a reason why I'm not doing all the endings. I don't wanna do all this I don't wanna do all the speedruns. So yeah. That's my, sorry, my brain is, my brain short-circuited again. That's, my justification for only doing 3 of the endings. Yeah, okay, but before we close the stream, Exploding suggested that I'm gonna react to a trailer. You should go with Snake this time instead of Lotus Sun on account. Yeah, I do. That was the plan. Again, it is 30 minutes, are you sure? Yeah, then maybe we're not gonna do that. I also don't want to get flagged for copyright on accident. So, thank you so much for enjoying the stream. We were here for almost like 4 hours. And yeah, I really am enjoying replaying this game and basically like seeing from like my perspective how well the game uses foreshadowing and how things connect. Like everything in this game happens for a reason. I can give you something funny to react to. VTubers? No, I'll just do that off stream, dude. But yeah, until Monday, hopefully. I hope you guys stay frosty. Do I pay for Balatro and make her extend the stream? Wow, you guys are holding me up. Is chat holding me hostage? Is that it? Is that what we're doing? Are you guys just gonna hold me hostage? And we're gonna have me go for 4 hours? What are we playing today, Hale? I mean, we played Zero Escape for like over 3 hours. I made the stream extra long just so I'll be able to get an ending. Which proved to be the right choice because my brain got deep fried by that stupid brain puzzle. 7 was really nice. 7 just gave me the vibes of like a dad who's trying to help a kid use it, like solve his math homework. Like, you know the vibe, you know the one. And then, like, but he was really patient with the math homework and the logic. Okay. Anyways, if no further objections are given, thank you so much for attending the stream, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Until next time, I hope you stay frosty. Goodbye. Oh shit.